Hello and welcome back, everybody, to the ASL, our live cast here for the Group D in round of 16. We've got a couple of Terran players today and two Zergs. This could be a deciding day where the race distribution could be seriously messed up. We've already got 4 Protoss through into the round of 8. There's just one Terran player in the round of 8 already, and we've got 2 contenders on both sides. Are we going to get one Zerg through into the round of 8, or can we get 2 and kind of even things up? We're about to find out.
Yeah, I'm not even sure what's going to happen today, Saiyan. I mean, pretty much all 4 of these guys are capable of breaking out of this group. It would be nice to have a bit of a smooth race distribution. Already things a little bit skew-whiff, though, with those 4 Protoss players there. Does spell good hopes for a Protoss champion at long last. It would be nice to have, 2 Terrans, 2 Zergs alongside them.
Definitely. What are the chances of that happening, though? I know that Soma has a very good chance of getting through today. Everybody is a little bit scared of him. He's the last picked, and generally that player in Group D, the guy at the very bottom, that last person picked, is generally the strongest player. Everybody is not wanting him in their group. It's kind of like the opposite of you at a high school, basketball team. You're picking all the players that you want to play with. You want to pick for your team. Here, you're picking the weakest players first, and you're leaving the
Right.
strongest for last.
Yeah, I mean, that's why Soma's in that bottom pick. And the reality is, a lot of people are scared of him, similar to how they were scared of Bisu and why Bisu was in that 4th tier spot in one his group. And I mean, Light's picked speed here right out of the gate. So I guess, no surprise there. Light's very confident in his TVT and feels like he's maybe got a good read on speed style and wants to have an easy road to getting into that winners match and maybe getting out of this group 2-0.
Well, Speed, during the interviews, during the group nomination, he said he wanted to be in this group. He implored Light to pick him, and Light was kind of leaning that direction anyway. He said it was going to be smooth sailing taking out Speed, but Speed said that he learned a lot of what he knows from Light, and it's time for the student to overcome the master.
Well, speaking of that, let me do a little bit of my player breakdown here. So, Light, Daddy Terran himself, he's so experienced and solid that many of these other Terran pros regularly turn, up to his door, like you say, to for advice and to study his methodology. His innovations have turned around how many of those players approach previously thought of as imbalanced maps to being more Terran favored, such as attacking from the middle and Dominator against Protoss, or just where to position tanks for optimal attacking pressure in general. Lights, got a gold medal in the ASL Season 13, crushing Reign 4-0 and a silver medal in Season 9, losing out to 0. He got taken out by Best 4-3 in the last semifinals of ASL 19. That's why he's the seed of this group, which is actually an impressive result when you think about it, considering Best is, essentially the best macro PVT player, arguably, and also Light's worst matchup. There's no Protoss here today. Light certainly could go on a rampage and break out of this group, saying, so don't sleep on him. Meanwhile, Speed, he's been in the round of 16 for the 3rd time in a row now. He's never quite been able to break out into those quarterfinals. However, he had such promise as an up-and-coming Terran, going by the moniker 10-Minute Flash a while back, and has ascended beyond that now, showing us such spectacular TVT in the round of 24 in the last ASL, beating Rush and Royal to get out first, but then had a bit of a disappointing run in the round of 16. Can he get his nerves in check and perform at his best? This is a tough group today, and he's going to have to dig deep to break the trend. Larva, he's an interesting beast as well. He's already done well in ASL quite a few years ago, earning a bronze medal twice in ASL Season 4, and then again in ASL 10, where he lost out to Flash's incredible random run, going 3-0 against him. But he eventually got that gold medal in the ASL Season 11 with a big back-and-forth series 4-3 against Mini. He's an incredibly entertaining streamer and a big personality in the StarCraft scene, though has been out of the picture for quite a while now and recently has come back to looking leaner and meaner. He breezed by Stork and Sharp in the round of 24 to get here today 2-0 Now he's going to be tested to his limit to determine if he's deserving of going deep in this event once more. Soma, I would say, is actually in a bit of a dark horse compared to a lot of these other gamers. He doesn't have any kind of records around the Kesper era at all. And, he's one of the youngest pros at 30. Even after the age of Kesper, he didn't play many events besides Sonic, where he'd previously been eliminated in the round of 16 groups by the likes of Larva, too. Though this is a totally different Soma today. He's got a silver medal in the ASL Season 10, losing out to Queen 3-4, coming so close to that championship title. But he's recently returned from military service and must have had a desk job there, saying, because the man came out of the gate swinging hard and making even Flash look silly on stream right away. He has a strong Zerg versus Zerg, an impressive Zerg versus Terran, so eyes will surely be on this guy to break out this group.
Yeah, it's funny that you say he probably had a desk job. He was playing a ton of ladder, as you guys know. As many of you know, there is mandatory military service in Korea. And during your military service, you're not allowed to make any money. So he wasn't able to stream. He wasn't able to, do any of the regular things, compete, or, try to take on players for prize pools. He had to just show up for his military service and then go home and practice Brood War. So he went into a hyperbolic time chamber of sorts where he was kind of separated from everybody else, separated from the regular professional scene, but still working really hard on his game. And the way that the round of 16 group selection stage turned out, you could just see how scared everybody is of this player. And you can see Larva kind of laughing here. He's definitely the underdog right now. I mean, he is such a skilled player, but he has not been practicing as hardly as some of these other guys. He's just been, kind of playing around on stream, letting his wrist recover. I think he's probably going to end up going out. I'm very torn on whether speed or light will be able to advance, but I'm leaning towards speed. I also said that speed was going to advance last season, but he kind of disappointed me there. Barracks, I mean, he really showed up this season in the round of 16. I hope speed can do the same. And then I think Soma will get through as well, but we could be wrong here. This is a very strong group, as usually is in Group D. Group D is usually pretty darn scary.
Yeah, we have similar opinions, but I'm leaning more towards light than speed. I also feel like Soma is getting out of this group. We are being joined on stage by these gamers now, probably just to set up their mice keyboards. Larva, even interestingly enough, brings hairdryer to these events so that he can keep the sweat at a minimum on his mouse pad and mouse. I mean, every little helps at the highest level of StarCraft, and if you get a little bit sweaty while you're playing, not necessarily a bad idea to make sure things are as optimally dry as possible, to make sure you maintain as comfortable of a grip as possible, and basically ensure that you have as similar environment to back at home when you're practicing so that you're able to play your A game.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, whatever works for you, man. I've seen players put a towel on their mouse. I've seen all kinds of different ideas for how to keep your hands dry during an event like this. We talk often about how much pressure it is to be playing on stage, under the lights, in front of the camera. It's so alien to the regular experience of these gamers that are generally just in their comfy chair back at home, completely, safe and comfortable. Now they're here in this foreign environment, and it really does bring on the nerves. Some people, they shake or, they kind of lose control of their mind, their control of their thoughts. Some people sweat profusely, and if you are
Right.
a sweater, you better have some sort of way to counter that, some sort of way to deal with that so that you can perform at your best.
Some perspiration mitigation. I totally agree, saying it is necessary. I love seeing the diverse crowd here at the ASL. You get quite a lot of these foreigner guys coming across the pond to show their support. It's nice to see so many StarCraft lovers like ourselves enjoying this great game for many years and hopefully many years to come as well. But I mean, as far as this group is concerned, I don't know. Like, it's going to be all Terran versus Terran, Zerg versus Zergs, and then TVZs, obviously. But because of the double mirror, means we are essentially guaranteed that Terran versus Zerg at some point. You obviously be impossible for both of these guys to continue facing off against one another. So even though it's going to start out with that double mirror, don't worry, because obviously we're guaranteed that Terran versus Zerg in both the winners and losers match, which I'm looking forward to. I love TVZ.
Yeah, I love TVZ as well. It's iconic match in StarCraft, in both StarCraft games. Definitely TVZ is a fan favorite. And it's just going to be a single game of TVT, a single game of ZVZ, and then we're going to go into the best of threes for those TVZs. We'll see how it pans out for the final match. Depending on how it goes, we might get another mirror, but might not also occur. It's a 50-50 chance here. Those are the players that have already made it through, and only 2 of these guys can advance today. So who's it going to be? We're going to find out.
Well, I mean, we've said before, we kind of do want an even distribution as much as possible. So I would really like Soma to be joining us in that next stage. It's certainly possible that even Larva could surprise us all today, and we might have 2 Zergs advancing. Anything can happen in the ASL. Could also be the opposite of that, light and speed dominating today. But I don't think so. I think it's going to be either Soma speed, Soma light, or maybe a bit of an upset. Larva beats out Soma in that ZVZ, pushes him down to the losers, and who knows, maybe even Larva could be advancing here. I think that's one of the reasons why this has been the best round of 16 in such a long time, is even though we've got our predictions saying, it's still so hard to call.
Yeah, that's what happens when the round of 24 kind of goes according to what we're thinking. Then we have all the strongest players in the round of 16, and it becomes very, very hard. Well, we've had some really interesting groups so far, and I'm excited to see what kind of strategies, what kind of risks people are taking. Yesterday was a lot of cheese, players trying to throw all kinds of interesting early game strategies at each other. Jadon got hyper aggressive there, almost really wanting to end the game early, just kind of desperate to get those wins. I wonder if any other players are feeling the same way, wanting to try some really early aggression with 8 racks, BBS, something like that to get these TVZs out of the way.
Yeah, I'm not so sure what these guys are going to be going for. And I'm just kind of blown away by Speed's strange record. And bear in mind, it's a very small sample size here, guys. So it's not necessarily representative of these guys' ability. For example, you see the 0-3 against Zerg, whereas this guy's not bad against Zerg at all. But I mean, look at that Terran versus Terran record so far, 6-1. That's crazy. That's because of some of the impressive results we've had from this guy in the round of 24, knocking out Terrans with incredible speed, pun intended. Can he do it again against Light? Anything can happen in the best of 1. Certainly capable of taking down the daddy Terran here. He's taken down such good Terrans before. He could do it again. Light, though, he's like a Terminator, calm under pressure. It's very rare to get under his skin. Can Speed remain composed?
Yeah, I really hope he can get his nerves under control. It seemed like it got to him last season, but he's new. He's relatively new in the ASL. He hasn't been around for that long, but he appears to be a fixture now. Like, this guy is not going anywhere. He's going to be around for a while, and he's going to continue to produce better and better results, I feel.
Yeah, I mean, he has been showing up a lot lately, able to break through to the round of 16 3 times in a row. We talked about it before in the player breakdown. Can he finally beat that trend, get into the quarterfinals at long last? Maybe deserving of that, but might have a few rough edges to smooth out before he can get there. He's certainly going to be tested out in this group, guys. We're about to get it started. It's the ASL Season 20 Group D match number 1 between Light and Speed. Let's get it started. The map is going to be Knockout.
Light spawning in the top right. Speed bottom left here. And we're going to get a cross map TVT. Don't worry your little head, though. TVT hater out there. This is not the same TVT as you used to watch back in the Kespa era, that's for sure.
No.
TVT has changed a lot over the recent years. It's become so much faster of a match, and it's incredibly rare these days that we get, you know, a 30-plus minute battle cruiser battle in the very late stage of the game, regardless of how big the map or the map positions.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, some of you guys will know it changed a lot, especially with the introduction of Vulture Wars a few years ago. So, you know, that really high mechanics-orientated style of play where both players are in a arms race trying to outmaneuver one another with better target firing and positioning of just, you know, pure Vulture, essentially. And who will blink first and trying to transition out of that. They even got so far as to getting into 4 factories or more worth of production of those Vultures. But it's evolved even beyond that in recent times. The last year and a half, maybe at least a year, where there's just such a wider range of play and just more dynamic in general, so much more drop harassment and understanding of how to break positions as well. Like, no longer are these tank lines as static as they once were. The front lines of this battlefield will be ever changing, and both players jostling for position, trying to open up new lanes of both attack and expansion, and also try and cut off those of their opponents. It's going to get really wild really quick between these two guys.
Yeah, we've seen, I mean, Speed in the round of 24 go for some really interesting strategies in TVT, right? We had that Goliath game, that crazy Goliath game from him, where he just shoved it down. I'm thinking the right thing, right, Xun? This was Speed who pulled this off, right? Crazy.
Yes.
I've never seen something like that before, but going absolutely all in with Goliath and making it work. It's a new world for TVT.
Yeah, it was against TY, baby, and he just didn't get his siege mode in time. Like, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of cases where you are delaying making that siege for as long as possible. He just did not expect that kind of aggression out of Speed, and in lower numbers of units, Goliaths are actually seriously good in TVT. Obviously, they don't have the best scaling. You generally don't want to have to make them in the mid to late game phases, but way back in the day, in the OG days of StarCraft, especially where island maps were prevalent, Goliath drop was basically the meta. Goliaths are pretty good at ripping through SCVs and other Terran units as long as you can isolate them in small pockets.
Yeah, I wonder if we'll see something like that today. We could end up having, you know, like a light speed final match as well. If the stars align, might get another TVT, a long TVT. For you TVT lovers out there, I know there's got to be some of you guys who have been converted in the recent past couple of years as this game has evolved and this matchup has changed so much. It's definitely become one of my more liked matchups. This is a much more fun matchup for me than it used to be, that's for sure.
Oh, same here, saying I used to kind of roll my eyes when TVT came around a few years ago, but not anymore. It's actually really super exciting and interesting to learn. We got a quick 1-1-1 build here out of Light. He could just go for Tank Wraith with this and apply pressure. But you also, you know, are likely to do some kind of drop harassment in this matchup as well. So I won't be too surprised if he does do some kind of Vulture drop here. And both players have expanded quickly off of one single factory. And both sides making 2 Marines. You can be a little bit greedy, try and make only 1, but that's weak against something like a Proxy barracks build with aggression. So it's safer to make just 2 Marines right out of the gate and then go into your build order. But both players obviously avoiding making a bunker here. You'd only really do that in like a bunker expand scenario. So initially it'll be a little bit of harassment back and forth, seeing if they can poke in. But once seeing the 2 Marines and the factory production, both players with the cross map rush distance going to be just sitting home for a time being. But we got a bit of deviation here. We got 2 factories for Speed, whereas this fast starport play for Light.
I wonder if on this map it's just not viable to go Vulture War because of the dip in front of the natural. If there's, you know, if you're gonna try and attack up that ramp, are you just gonna be completely outdone by the defender's advantage?
Oh, he actually misses the tank with the barracks. He might not realize that there's a tank that's just rolled by that. That's interesting. I don't think he's going to necessarily attack right now, but you can apply pressure with tank and Wraith in this situation. You just basically make non-stop tanks and Wraiths. You can afford to do that off one gas, essentially, and apply pressure to your opponent because they might not have that armory finishing up, but actually Speed does. So this Wraith pressure from Light will not be too successful. There are 2 Marines to buy a little bit of time for a Goliath to squeeze out, but with Micro, you can still kill these 2 Marines and put a little bit of damage onto the SCV line of the other Terran player. Seems like Speed predominantly just Vulture production for the time being, but he has got that armory, like I said, so he's not going to be going for a Vulture War style.
Not a lot of health left on this Wraith, so it's going to be pushed out pretty quickly. We'll see if Light is able to keep that alive. He's got to be very careful right now. He's going to lose this. Oh my gosh, is he going to lose this?
Ooh,
Speed's setting up for
yes.
it. Yeah, he got it. Oh man, that really hurts right now. Light, I mean, he built this super early starport. I mean, not crazy early, but he also put an add-on down as well, thinking that he was going to go into Cloak here, and he's completely changed his plans. Cancel. And he's going to switch it up now, add some more factories, but his factory count way behind where Speed's at right now.
Yeah, it's a good adjustment on the fly here for Light, realizing that these Wraiths won't be able to hit the timing that they need to. The reality is StarCraft and Terran especially is such a timing attack-orientated game and race, and if you lose that timing by a Wraith dying for free or something, you kind of have to adjust on the fly. I do like the setup here from Light, though, with the Academy and Supply by blocking in the natural, preventing something like a pure Vulture War from just spiraling out of control and allowing him to plug those gaps with the tanks to create a great wall for himself. There is a lot of Vultures out on the map here for Speed to apply pressure and threaten the idea of a run by. The mines also give you some map control, keeping Light in his base for a long time. Light is powering up onto 4 factories now, as is Speed. Obviously a tank advantage though for Light, so if he can find a way of getting out onto the map, would be great. He just took a mine hit onto that tank. He's got to be super careful. Like, he could dive in with these Vultures and snipe that tank if Light wasn't paying attention.
Yeah, I guess going across the bridges there is going to be a little bit too costly. He doesn't want to dive in, try to get that kill. SCV can, of course, repair this up, and no harm, no foul here. Aside from the repair bill, it's not really going to cost Light too much. Left 1 tank on this high ground, though. Speed's going to find it and get a kill there. What's he going to trade for it? What, maybe 1 Vulture there? Not bad at all. I mean, Speed's just all over the place. Getting in and looking for that damage everywhere.
And he's even got a Goliath, like, just chilling in the main, making sure that the Wraith, besides scouting, can't really provide any value here at all. And a quick 3rd base from Speed. This is very common when you have map control in the way of some mines, to try and get your 3rd online a little bit quicker than the other Terran. And, you know, Light is essentially playing catch-up despite having a higher tank count. And this is the interesting thing about the tempo of Terran versus Terran. Just because Light has a bunch of tanks doesn't necessarily mean he's in a great spot. I do like his position because he's able to get out quickly despite the mine map control and start his own 3rd at this 3 o'clock pocket. But, I mean, I had to give it to Speed. He's navigated this early game pretty well, and I like the idea of how he's, you know, threatening counterattacks and jumping onto some of these tanks with those initial Vultures. They won't have much value the longer the game goes on, so squeezing any value out of those Vultures is great.
So the 3rd base taken by Speed is quite a bit less important. It's quite a bit less impactful than the base taken by Light. Light sacks that that Wraith.
Ooh.
Oh my gosh, that was a little bit scary there. If that mine had connected, it would have been pretty brutal. But he sacks the Wraith to get some more information here, and there it is on screen, the gas here for Light. With a 3rd gas coming online, he's going to have a bit of an advantage. However, Speed did get his base up a lot sooner. He's going to be able to crank out a lot more Vultures. And he's already got that Vulture advantage. You can see it coming into play here, diving on top of some of these tanks. He's actually trading out pretty well, but the end of that fight goes a little bit light-sided. Couple of final tank shots, managing to take out these forward siege tanks, and Speed ends up with less tanks here, but way more Vultures. He's still going to try to wrap around, look for another counterattack.
Yeah, you guys can see already how TVT's evolved a little bit. Both guys are just so much more confident in getting into the face of the enemy tank lines and setting up a bit of a no man's land right away with those siege tanks and getting ready to break weakened lines. You can see now Speed unsieging, rotating round to the southern hemisphere of the map so that he can, launch an assault vertically rather than meeting the line parallel. And that will allow him to, fight less tanks at once and really start to break open the siege line of Light if he's not quick to respond to this. He even has a vision advantage with this floating barracks on the right-hand side. Light's barracks is optimized for the other flank from the west, so this could be a devastating attack from Speed if he executes it well.
Yeah, he's going to come right in here. Tank's going to siege up here on the high ground, I imagine. Try to prevent reinforcements from making their way over here for Light. Vulture running up on the high ground. A lot of these vultures have been killed, though. Looks like he won't get too much more done with this. Maybe can shuffle over just a little bit with this tank. Try to get some hits on that CC. Unfortunately, he loses the tank, though, and Light will hold for now. Preventing these tanks from getting in range is going to be key. And a dropship popping out here. Light maybe thinking about getting aggressive, putting some damage onto Speed side of the map. Flank here of tanks coming through now. Light sieged up on that left-hand side. Thought he was safe, but the rallies come forward way quicker here for Speed. He gets the full surround. And yeah, this drop might be effective, but he's actually unloading it. He can't even go for the drop, I don't think, with this much pressure on top of him right now.
Oh, this is really high-level stuff from Speed, applying so much pressure to Daddy Terran right now. He's trying to get that Mineral Only expansion up, but Speed, likewise, getting that 9 o'clock online to get that additional gas. Even going to be double expanding to that 6 o'clock as well. Right now, there's a small upgrade advantage for Speed. He has that +1, but his starport's much slower. And Light already has his science facility, so as long as Light was quick enough with that +1 timing, yeah, there it is. So he might actually hit his +2 just before Speed. It's certainly possible, and there's a strong timing attack window in Terran vs. Terran where you can start to 2-shot tanks instead of 3 once you get that +2 attack upgrade for the arc light shot cannon to rip through the other tank lines. So I mean, maybe there's a world here where Light gets that tiny window of upgrade advantage for like even just 10 or 20 seconds. Make all the difference in the tempo. Drop now coming in from Light. Some vultures landing at that 9 o'clock. There is a single tank there, but could lay down mines to cause a bit of a headache in Speed's world.
Oh, he's still got a Goliath back at home. That's crazy. He even gets the scan. Is he going to get the kill? Oh, a Wraith comes out. Really good play by Speed, catching that dropship. I thought that was going to do a lot more damage, but Speed well prepared. Now moving, rotating over here towards this mineral only. He's going to take a fight from the low ground. Bunch of tanks down there are threatening the reinforcements, making it hard for Light to hold that area. He will back away once again, but he's kind of playing like a Protoss, kind of probing the defenses back and forth as Light just kind of shadows the army, trying to respond in time. Every time Speed tries to break through, though, he's gaining an advantage in the overall supply. He's now about 20 supply ahead, nearly. And he's going to look for another attack over here towards this third base.
Man, I'm getting a little bit of chills from watching Speed play. Like 500 APM right now, guys. And he's outplaying Light. Light is one of the best execution-orientated Terran players in the scene. And Speed has outdone him here so far in this first match of the day. Light trying to respond in kind. Got some vultures trying to shove it down on that 9 o'clock position. He gets some SV kills. Speed, though, quick to respond. Remaining fluid in his army control. Shutting that down instantly. It's one of the hardest things about playing Terran in general, not just in this matchup, but keeping your army as fluid as possible to respond to active threats and scanning constantly to identify the army movements of your opponent. It's important in Terran versus Protoss, and it's especially important in Terran versus Terran.
Look at Light taking his half of the map now, splitting it horizontally. There's a bunch of Wraiths coming forward. Going to be dealing with this barracks as an army pushes forward. I think this ultimately favors Light. Speed is trying to break through a tank line right now, whereas Light is attacking with no resistance here. He's just going to punch right through. Speed trying to get up on this high ground with some of these vultures. The tank line too strong, plus the cloaked Wraith as well. He's going to lose this base. All the SCVs over here. Light has made a genius move, and it seems like Speed has blundered.
This is crazy. And he has that +2 timing attack window. You see that 1-1 for speed, +2 attack for light. This is his time to shine and reestablish dominance in this game. Number one, he's done it in one swoop. Speed miscalculating here and committing too many forces to trying to break that position at the 3 o'clock, and unfortunately left no defenders back at home to cover his flank. Light's completely exploited that and held on to that position at the 3 o'clock. I have no idea how Daddy Terran does it, Saiyan, but I mean, class is in session right now for Speed.
I think he kind of identified that Speed was locked in to trying to to break center right. And once Light moved to the middle of the map, I think Speed needed to change his tactics, but he just kept on firing at that center right base, not expecting Light to then move over towards the center left, which was the logical next step. He's still going in on this base, Xun. He's still going for it. Let's see if he can actually break it now, because Light doesn't have too many forces here, but he is bringing forward more reinforcements.
Oh, and Light still got that +2 attack advantage. This is a big mistake, Speed. You can't be challenging Light like this when you haven't yet got your +2 finished. Definitely an oversight. Both players splitting the map horizontally. Speed now trying to expand to this southeast quadrant, while Light to this northwest quadrant, double expanding up there, as well as the 12 o'clock. Light will be looking to leapfrog over the expansion warpath of Speed now. Currently eclipsing him in supply. He was a lot further ahead a moment ago, but he's still ahead now. Has got some vultures out on the map to cause a little bit of thorn in Speed's side and try to respond to threats rather than creating his own. And that's going to give more tempo over to the side of Light. This will even out soon. Once that +2 attack comes online for Speed, he can go back to trading well, but for the time being, this is a massive window where Light just has an upgrade advantage.
Yeah, this upgrade advantage is hurting Speed so much. He is going to try to claw his way back, but he's just still running it down here on the left or on the right hand side. Was this really worth it to shut down one single base? Light is taking another one in the top left, 2 in fact, double expanding over there while harassing the bottom right, and Speed is just falling further and further behind in his total supply count. I mean, he had a big advantage earlier, but after that trade, the left, I mean, it's not even a trade. After he lost the base in the center left, he just dipped so far behind in supply, and here comes Light pushing through the middle of the map. It's wide open, and he's going to come in and claim this free real estate.
Yeah, we're seeing a rinse and repeat of the same tactic. He's even now sacrificed his 3 o'clock base. Now that he's got these other bases set up towards the north and northwest, he doesn't really mind about that 3 o'clock being taken at long last. Speed has traded at a deficit to do so. Now the position is wide open for Light to try and exploit. Can Speed muster enough defenses with his rally point and stop Light from doing critical damage? He's rotating around with some of that army that was on the right-hand side to try and intercept and shut down this army of Light. It is starting to dry up in its potency, but looks like some lane control would remain for Light after all is said and done. And even now, a larger and larger dropship fleet is starting to be fielded by Light. I like the idea of putting some of these turrets here on the natural expansion, but right, he's going to scout and put a bit of damage onto those. But it's not really going to still stop Light from accomplishing his goals. Light is going to shut out Speed from easily taking these bases in the top right. Meanwhile, his bases in the top left go undeterred.
It's impressive, really, how Speed has managed to keep up in supply for the most part, even with everything going wrong. Like, everything is falling apart here. He's only 10 supply behind. It's crazy. His macro is next level, but the decision making this game has left something wanting. Like, he's just not quite there. He is going to get in here with his vultures, get a few kills, but I mean, this is not what he needs to come back. He needs a miracle at this point.
I mean, look at the APMs right now. This is totally exemplifying the difference between these two individuals. Light is this high execution, strong decision maker of a player, whereas Speed is just raw mechanics, similar to Light Student Barracks. If you can somehow combine those two, if you can get the speed and the decision making, you become like Flash did back in the day and a real monster. But for the time being, these guys are kind of like polar opposites in how they're approaching this game, and Light's variation winning out for the time being. This could all change though. We also have some Valkyries now to try and shut down the Wraith air superiority. Another shoving now from Speed into the center of the board. These tanks are pretty undefended from Light, so it's a nice pick up here from Speed to get pretty much all of those tanks for free before Light can cut down and reinforce. Most of his army was in that top left pocket to clean up the drop harassment of Speed, so there's now a lot of tempo for Speed. Can he shove it down, establish control of this center, and cut off the lane of reinforcement to that top left quadrant and apply pressure to Light? Looks like Light is shutting that down for the time being, but there's still counterplay options for Speed.
Yeah, this is an interesting turn of events here. Speed getting some momentum finally after just hitting a brick wall in that center right over and over again with his head. He's finally making some moves that have some potential here. Pushing up towards this high ground, though, is not going to be an easy task. Light is reinforcing, and he's even spreading turrets all over the map. He's looking forward to the next stages of the game where there's going to be drop ships flying all over the place. We've already seen some drops, but we're about to go into mass dropship play. Both players have +2, and they've got some strong tank lines. They're getting close to maxed out. Drop ships are the next logical conclusion in this game.
Yeah, Speed is still losing this game. However, I mean, Light has locked him out from expanding to the bottom right for quite some time. Speed getting that base at the 9 o'clock will supplement a little bit, but not enough in this game. Light having those 2 bases in the top left will come back to haunt Speed if he can't also split the map in half soon. As long as he can eventually do it, he will win the game the longer it goes on. But for the time being, for this next like 10 minutes or so, Speed's in a little bit of trouble. He has to keep applying pressure to Light and trying to see if he can shove it down on this vertical axis like he's going for now. The tanks are a little bit light. Some more tanks coming over to reinforce, but are they too slow? Can Speed break through? The upgrade advantage isn't really there. He has got +3 on his tanks, but +3 is way less important than +2, generally speaking. So, I mean, Light is still hanging on with this this high ground advantage, and has also some drop ships with Wraith support that he can hit this 9 o'clock with now if he wanted to. I don't even know if Speed will be able to hang on to this position forever. If he keeps sacrificing units to push on his vertical axis, he's going to drive in this game. He hasn't yet expanded to that bottom right. I think Speed's game plan was to attack and defend at the same time, pushing northwards and eliminate these bases in the top left of Light, and he's not been able to do so. So Light's position being compounded now and starting to snowball out of control.
Yeah, this is unfortunate, man. Speed, he's played a great game here. He's managed to hang in there against Light, which is no small feat, but he's just fallen so far behind with some of these moves. Wow. Just completely shoving it down over and over again into some of these positions that Light has already established. I'm not sure what he was thinking, but Light is now pushing forward. He's dropping on top of tanks. He's shoving it down here, but he's not being overly aggressive either. He's not trying to desperately end this game. He's taking his time here with Speed, who's drying up on gas. He's only got the 1 fresh gas here in the center left, and his main plus his naturals actually it was lifted, so he can't even mine off of that base anymore.
It's a nice vulture raid from Speed to slip by the tank line, get some vultures in that top left pocket, but look at this from Light, just full on pain train, sending the dropships down to that 6 o'clock base. That's a very valuable mining base for Speed right now. That'll put him on just 1 base worth of economy. You need to have at least 2 bases going to have a strong eco as Terran, both in this matchup and versus Protoss. You can obviously get by with 1 base, but not when your opponent has this many. There is a few attempts here from Speed to do some damage and harassment in the top left, but it's easily shut down. Dropship just falling now to the Hellfire missiles of that Goliath on the ground. And with this base at the 6 o'clock under this much pressure, if Speed doesn't respond to this quick and start establishing more of his own mining bases, he is going to fizzle out of this game, Saiyan.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Xun. He is fizzling out now, and Light is just extinguishing this fire slowly but surely, closing in from every direction and cutting off his oxygen. He's lost that gas geyser at the 6 o'clock. Such an important gas to have. He's already way behind in terms of his gas mining, and he's just cut off one of the last mining bases for that gas income. He's got a whole bunch of drops here. He's gonna try 1 gamble. Let's see what he can do with these 4 drop ships at this point. Oh man. Light's so on top of it. He's got a bunch of cloak rays sitting right there. You've got to be kidding me.
It's crazy how good Light is, man. Like, literally under 300 APM, and he's still playing like this. You can see Speed dropping in APM rapidly now, not able to play with the same level of tenacity for long enough against the likes of Light. He had some rocky music playing at the start of his time on stage, and rightfully so. No matter how hard you hit him, he's going to keep getting up and keep moving forward and start swinging on you. The later of the stages start to come to pass, and now he's starting to feel the pressure. This indomitable might of Light is just too much for Speed to handle. You can see the supply differential becoming wider and wider now. 50 supply advantage for Light. He smells blood in the water. He's going to start ramming it down now. We're not going to have those kind of old games where the game drags out to a whole hour. Light will close this out a lot quicker. Obviously, it will still take a little bit of time, but look at this dropship fleet available to him and how proactive both players are being in moving their tanks around Speed. Again, on the counter offensive, trying to shove it down north, but there's still 6 tanks here to trade cost efficiently. He might be able to break this position with some drop support, but not before trading off the majority of his tanks. Just 100 supply and dropping for Speed, and Light is just going to counter drop this like it's nothing.
Yeah, Speed, I mean, he just wants to ram it down again. GG is called. There it is. You can see the look on his face. He knows he messed up there. He is an incredible player, for sure. Keeping up with Light in this game in terms of his macro, but the decision-making, very questionable. Maybe feeling the heat, the pressure again. Maybe he had a game plan going into this. I'm not really sure what went on there, but you can see he's disappointed. He's going to be going to the losers match to face off against one of these two Zergs.
Well, it used to be called 10-minute flash, and he might be 15-minute flash now. He definitely did look pretty good against Light in that mid game for quite some time, but Light quickly identified his game plan of shoving it down at 3 o'clock, counterattacked him twice in succession, and easily outperformed and outmaneuvered him, shut off access to that bottom right quadrant, and outmined him by taking his own horizontal map split. Just really high-level stuff from Light, and you expect nothing less from Daddy Terran himself. I told you not to sleep on this guy.
Absolutely. Light playing very solid TVT, even at a lower than average for the pro scene APM, still able to, which is great decision making, win this one out. But Speed, I mean, he would have really given him a run for his money, and I could see the potential. I think everybody sees the potential in Speed.
Absolutely.
If he makes the right calls, if he's able to you know, make the right decisions in the moment, maybe he needs to slow down just a little bit here and take a few more seconds to think before he makes some of these moves, because he's moving at an incredible pace, over 500 APM in some instances, never dropping below 400, which is just incredible to even imagine. Like, this guy is blazingly fast. Maybe needs to take a few more seconds to just ponder his decisions in TVT.
Well, his early to mid game looks great, saying maybe ironically he just needs to go and talk to Light a bit in between these tournaments and try and figure out where he's going wrong in that mid to late game transitional phase and what decisions would make more sense for him. It does seem like he's very capable of a player, but as soon as he goes up against anyone that's just a little bit more experienced than him, does tend to get outmaneuvered the later the game goes on. He's so great in that early game phase. I can see why he had the moniker 10-minute flash in the past. Definitely reminiscent of his ability. He's certainly better than that now, but he's still struggling to show the same prowess in the later phases of the game as he does in those earlier ones, and really does need to talk to some of these more experienced Terrans and figure it out.
Well, he did mention in the group selection stage that he learned a lot of what he knows from Light, and he felt that he was ready to take him on and actually beat him here at the ASL finally. But Light chose Speed, and he chose him for a reason. He knows his style, and he was able to exploit him there. I think a very good decision for Light. Just a note is that out of the 4 matches here, the 4 groups in the round of 16, just 2 of those round of 4 players managed to win their first game. Just
Yeah.
Snow and now Light have actually managed to win those. Everybody else, the other 2 players, got beaten out in their first game. So, Light able to advance here most likely. I mean, that's kind of what you have to do to be able to advance. I mean, Best barely made it through after going into the losers match. It's such a hard route once you lose that first game.
Yeah, I do really love the fighting spirit of Best though. Like that's if you are gonna struggle, that's the best way to struggle. Unlike someone like Mini, which kind of like had such a great position and struggled to close out the game. I really do like that Best came back from the dead to get through. So I got major respect for him in that regard. I noticed in the chat some of you guys surprised by the beautiful fangirls in the room here. I mean, let's be honest. I just need to reestablish that for this for you guys that might be a bit more newer to the scene. These guys are essentially rock stars in the Korean world, like K-pop stars or something. Back in the day, there was an economic recession, and the main form of cheap entertainment was StarCraft. They had 2 television channels dedicated to StarCraft alone. Imagine going over for a vacation in Korea and turning on the TV in your hotel room and 2 of the channels just non-stop StarCraft action. That's South Korea. And that's why you see such die-hard fans here. They are essentially rock stars, saying, and rightfully so. They're so good at what they do.
And a lot of these Korean girls, they actually play as well, right? A lot of them are streamers playing StarCraft, maybe,
Yeah.
attending these college events. There's a collegiate league of StarCraft that's really, really popular in Korea right now and doesn't have an English cast for it as of yet, but it is super popular, kind of attracting a wider range of viewers and showcasing some players who are not generally shown in this in the scene. Right, you've actually got pro players acting as teachers, and then the younger players being the students
Right.
trying to live up to their teachers' expectations. And it is quite fun for the Korean fans. They're really enjoying that right now. And so some of these might actually be players from that collegiate league. Guys, we're going to go to a quick commercial break. When we get back, that ZVZ is coming right up. All right, guys, we are back. We're ready for that ZVZ Larva versus Soma. You guys are hilarious in the chat, by the way. I love it.
Yeah.
So funny. If you are watching on YouTube right now, we do stream these live on SCTV EN. So come check it out. Hang out with all the Brood War fans here at Soup Live and just be part of the live event. It's something special, guys, to be included here and just be here for when it actually is going down.
Absolutely. Yeah, you guys are hilarious. Keep it up. There we see Larva, one of the only beard sporting guys in South Korea, looking rather dapper and handsome, an absolute Chad in the gamer world. Drying off his mouse man, showing there's no sweat that he needs to worry about. He needs to play at his best ability here. We got Soma across the other side of the stage. Way back when he did get knocked out of some of those Sonic events by the likes of Larva. He's come a long way since those early days. Can he get revenge on him? None of these guys today have, records against one another in these really serious official matches. So everyone's kind of inexperienced on stage against one another. Let's see how it all pans out today. Whoever goes through to the winner's match to fight off against Light will definitely dictate the rest of this group.
Yeah, let's see. Let's see what happens here, guys. Okay, we're getting into it. Go ahead, Xun.
The ASL Season 20 Group D. Guys, don't sleep on this. It's going to be Larva versus Soma. The first match is going to be knockout. Let's get it started.
Larva spawning in the top right. Doesn't sound right. It doesn't seem right to talk over these cheers, but that was a little bit late from those guys. Soma in the bottom right, of course. I would say, I don't know if you agree with me here on this, Xun, but I think that Soma probably the better micro-wise, but maybe Larva a bit more tactically sound, maybe a little trickier, and that can really come into play in ZVZ as we saw in Effort versus Sulky.
Yeah, I mean, I think of Larva as used to be more of a macro guy, but over the last few years definitely showed such tenacity in his unit control and execution as well. Both of these guys pretty well-rounded players, I would say. And looks like with the geometry of this map, both players will be identifying one another quickly due to... Oh, there's the Foot Gamer cheer there. And I mean, yeah, this is the only guy that's played with his feet on stage, guys. That's Larva. He did that against the Chinese player. Was it Legend or someone in a ZVP on Fighting Spirit, I believe? Larva was bottom right, Legend was top right, and he did like a 2-gate, and Larva just shut it down, then started playing with his feet because it was that easy. Kind of crazy stuff, guys. But anyway, I want to say one of the guys in the chat was like cheering on Larva, saying, "Show this young guy he has no place in the ASL." Just to point out to you, Larva is also one of the youngest guys here. He's 31, Soma's 30.
Right, everybody's very close in age. Actually, it's the funny part about Brood War. We always talk about, oh, this young up and coming guy, or it's all relative, right? We think of players that have been around forever as like these old men, players like Bisu or something that have been around since we were kids, watching them way back in the day, but they're still very close in age. None of these guys are over 40. They're all right around that same age group, and they are just continuing to perform super well.
I remember back in the day, there was like, I can't remember, it was like on the History Channel, I don't know, there was basically a documentary made about StarCraft, like from the lens of normies, right? And this was during the era of 4U, and the female commentator was talking about it, like saying 4U at the age of like 25 is as grizzled as they come. Like, imagine calling someone that's in their mid-20s old and grizzled. Like, that's what we thought of as StarCraft. We thought like in your 20s you were considered close to retirement age. How wrong were we?
Look at this. Soma hiding a hatchery over on the left-hand side.
Yeah.
Larva's gone for a bit of a middle-of-the-road build. adding on this hatchery and just kind of getting out these lings a little bit slower. Oh my gosh, is he going to scout this?
He's going to see it. He's going to see it. He
Oh,
smells
no
something's
way.
off.
Okay, so this was going to be, I think, a ling attack, huge ling attack. He was going to hide a bunch of lings over there and just try to overwhelm Larva as he's trying to kind of macro up here. But with Larva being able to see that, the jig is up. Now it's a really, it's kind of a liability now that this hatchery is over here. Like, you can't really get anything out of it, and there's a potential that you end up losing the ling game, and then you can't even build a sunken to defend that, because you have to build a sunken to your lunar line.
I mean, it's a similar thought process to what Effort was doing against Sulky, but with totally different dynamics. Like, essentially, you're trying to trick the other guy into thinking you're one hatchery lair, so you completely miscalculate the defenses and what you make in terms of how many drones, how many zerglings, and what have you. The reality is Soma could make a lot of zerglings and go for a massive attack if Larva was to, say, try and make some spores right now to defend against that one hatchery lair timing. Now things change a lot now that he knows that there's this extra hatchery with production there. Gonna be mining out these mineral patches as Soma, having a high circulation of units to just shove down the ramp and make it harder for Larva to keep him contained. Also wants to force a few extra zerglings out of Larva and not allow him to be too greedy by squeezing out extra drones.
So it seems that both players canceled their speed. As soon as Soma gets scouted there, he decides, you know, it's just not going to be worth it to get this speed upgrade. We're just going to bank everything on a Mutalisk attack, and it has to work here. He is pretty well all in, unless something really wild happens. He's got to get in here and get that damage, otherwise Larva is going to outdo him. All he needs to do is just be defensive, hold the line, and get this second gas online. He should be okay from that position.
Well, let's see how this all plays out. I mean, some Mutalisks are on the way. He's also making a safety sunken, so he can be a bit more aggressive with his own zerglings on the ground soon. He won't send those out just yet, but he's looking to see if he can get a bit of tempo advantage, hovering over the Scourge, over the eggs. If you can get one-on-one trades with the Mutas, oh, he does! They're both weakened now. It's ideal if you actually split the Scourge so they both hit different Mutalisks, so they can easily be two-shot by the Mutas in the sky, and you take out two Mutas in very quick effect. He's trying to target those down now. The Scourge connects with the wrong Mutalisk, but it doesn't matter. He's going to easily shut this down. Soma with a massive tempo lead. That's the crazy thing about StarCraft, and especially these mirror matchups, is tempo is so important, and Soma has that good micro that doesn't kill both of them. One Scourge does connect, but Larva trying to desperately scramble to re-secure his natural expansion, able to do so, trying to go for a counterattack with the Zerglings on the ground now, but there is a Sunken, as we talked about, to buffer against that.
Yeah, he put down the Sunken, expecting that a Larva counterattack would be incoming. There's some Scourge here. He gets a connection. Oof. Not bad, killing off one of these Mutas, and now can kind of drive these back a little bit. He gets another hit there. Two of these Mutas dangerously low. Muta coming back in here. Can he actually get a kill on one of these? Not able to get it, and I think that's just about it. Lights out here for Larva. He's not going to be able to cut it here. He brings in two more Scourge. He gets two more kills here. Larva's still alive for now, but he is completely on the ropes.
Yeah, I mean, the reality is he can't do anything about the Zerglings that are going to counterattack him. Like, he might technically stabilize against the Mutalisk in the air right now. He has lost most of his drones already. And even if he does somehow clear out this Mutalisk, how does he deal with the extra Zerglings that are coming on the ground? He can't make Scourge, Mutas, and Zerglings all at once. He's got barely any money now. He's got a little bit of gas so he can squeeze out some Scourge to defend in the sky, but how's he going to defend against the Zerglings? He's got just 4 Zerglings to about, 6 or 8 of the Zerglings of Soma. He's squeezing out his own Zerglings in the main base. Maybe somehow this Larva could hold on here, but it doesn't matter. He's losing more and more drones. Soma just outplaying Larva in this game number 1. Some more Scourge connections potentially, but it doesn't matter. The Mutas might go for Soma, just too good. Look at that micro just shutting down the Scourge. Head tilt from Larva. He knows he's going to be dropped down to that losers match. It's going to be Soma joining us in the winners. Bit of a handshake there. Adrenaline definitely pumping through his veins as he goes on to face against Light.
Well, you definitely saw it there. Muta's flying in just randomly from Soma. Too much going on at the same time, and too much pressure as well. Heart pounding early game ZVZ. That was pretty crazy, but it's all over with those first connections on the Scourge. I mean, Don't make your mutas at the natural. I think that's the lesson right there, probably. If you know that your Spire's a bit late, definitely shouldn't be making those precious mutas at the natural. And Soma gets those catches and follows up with a great attack.
Okay, so I mean, we're going to be having Speed go off against Larva, and that could be a very interesting match. Speed, a very good Terran versus Zerg player. Don't think that's going to be an easy game for Larva, but he could claw his way back. We could be seeing Larva in that finals match. But who's his opponent going to be? Light or Soma? One of these guys is going to be going out of this group 2-0. We thought both of them would be, thought both of them would be making it out today. Who knows, though? You could be right, and Speed could still claw his way back from that losers match, get into the finals, and still get out of this group. My money, though, still on both of these winners, guys. Light and Soma.
Yeah, these guys put on a good show for us here early. I'm pretty surprised that Soma managed to win that, even after his strategy was completely scouted. I thought that Larva was going to be able to take a full advantage, but seems like Soma just had that timing. And again, Larva building his mutas in the natural. Definitely not the right call there. He loses health on 2 of those immediately. And those trades that we saw with one Scourge hitting 1 muta, that is the absolute best that you can ever hope for in ZVZ. It's so efficient. You can fly in and hit those mutas one shot afterwards with a muta and just kill them off immediately. So wasting 2 Scourge on a muta, like sometimes it's worth it to just get rid of the muta if there's a chance of them keeping it back and allowing it to heal up. But with the strategy that Soma was going for, it's absolutely perfect.
Yeah, if you're going for a tempo-oriented play where you want to keep the pressure on and go for the kill, you definitely want to split the Scourge damage. Basically, the Suicide ability does 110 damage, leaving that Muta with 11 HP after the instant regeneration. Mutalisk Glaives obviously have 9 damage, so with just 2 hits, you can quickly kill those low HP Mutalisks and get a massive tempo swing from just 1 pair of Scourge. That's why the Patrol Micro and killing those Scourge is so important and practiced. It still is kind of important, but back in the day, they would play like 4 hours a day on those UMS maps, practicing nothing but Mutalisk control. And one of the main things was that Patrol Micro against Scourge, since if you weren't a strong ZVZ player, there was no point in even being picked in a team.
Yeah, that's some really difficult micro to pull off in the best of situations. But when you're in, when you're in your tournament life here, when you're in the round of 16 for ASL, I can't imagine how hard it is to get that flick shot to actually happen. Soma managed to get it there at the end to close things out, and just showing his composure despite, being in such a tense situation there. You could definitely see that he was feeling it, but he managed to get it done, and that's what counts.
Yeah. I'm curious though. I mean, this group, despite my predictions being in the winners, I mean, anything can happen still. Only one of those guys is guaranteed to get out of this group. Saiyan could still be right. Speed could be fighting back from that losers match, joining us in the finals and taking down whoever doesn't go out first here. I mean, I have a sneaking suspicion that Soma might be able to get out first. I really wouldn't be surprised if Light goes out 2-0 either. Both of those guys I had pegged as being able to get out of this group first. I just didn't know which one. And I was kind of vindicated in that because now I still can't tell. But both of them got through to the winners. Both of them still capable. And I haven't seen enough from these guys to know exactly where their level is at. For example, Light was the seed here, so I haven't seen a lot from him in this tournament. And I haven't seen too much from Soma Zerg versus Terran besides on stream. I don't know exactly how good these gamers are right now. So if I had to bet money, I would be hesitant to do so. I'd probably lean a little bit more towards Light, just based on his experience at this stage in the tournament. But I think Soma more than capable of slapping Light around.
Yeah, we're going to get a good chance to see how these two match up with that best of 3 coming up here soon, guys. It's probably the most exciting way that this could have gone, actually, with Soma going up against Light in that winners match. We're going to go to a short commercial break, then we're going to go and watch that amazing ZVT. Don't go away. All right, guys, the winner's match starts now. Soma versus Light. It's about to pop off. Our first best of 3. We're going to get to see Soma and whether he is capable of it going deep in this tournament. Light is definitely the first hurdle here. But some Protoss player, like, he's going to have immaculate ZVP as well if he wants to go deep. Like, it's
For
pretty
sure.
clear that Protoss is dominating at this point in the tournament with 4 players already through to the round of 8.
Well, statistically speaking, ZVP is Soma's best matchup, historically speaking. A lot of his statistics are really high across the board. At these events, not such the case. Obviously, the online performance doesn't necessarily correlate to offline performance. We'll have to see how he's doing right now. He's also been away from the scene besides playing on the ladder from his desk job in the military. How will he fare against Light now in the round of 16? I would like to see both of these guys advance. One of them definitely is. My money's still on Light, but that's very razor-thin margins. I think both of these guys will not be a surprise to break out of the Group 2-0. Now we're jumping right into the action, guys. The ASL Season 20 Group D winners match, Light versus Soma. This is going to be seriously epic. One of the best Terran versus Zergs we've probably seen in a long time. The map, it's going to be Radiant.
Light spawning top left. Soma down here in the bottom right. Radion is a reasonably balanced map, but I find it pretty difficult to play ZVT. How do you kind of feel about this map in this matchup here, Xun?
I think it's okay. I think there's ways of Terran abusing Zergs, especially amateur Zergs like us. But I mean, the reality is, it's a very strong macro map, and you just need to not let the Terran player get away with getting 4 bases online super easy once you get into that late game phase. And honestly, if you take a natural as your third, getting that free 4th gas, I find this map just fine. And it's one of those maps where Crazy Zerg is also viable. Not necessarily the best build choice, but just being viable can really make it hard for the Terran to deal with Zergs early on. Once you get that 4-1 timing on the Ultralisks, they're just so hard to chew through. As long as you do a good enough job in the Mutalisk phase of the game, controlling the pace, then I don't have a hard time here at all. But I know it's very style dependent how players engage with maps, so you're going to get wildly different opinions from player to player.
My main gripe with this map is that it's pretty obvious which main base you're going to go for here. Is there, like, taking that top right, you're so close to the Terran. It's the closer spawn, and so it's going to be harder to defend, and also to defend from drops, which have a direct path.
Right.
I just feel like you can kind of be narrowed down a lot. There are other reasons as well, but just for me, I find this map to be rather hard. Let's see how Soma kind of maneuvers this to his advantage, because it is a very wide open map. It might favor players that are better at surrounds with Mutaling.
Yeah, but I will just want to say, because it's a macro map and has these 12 o'clock and 6 o'clock bases in this configuration, actually good for cheesers as well. Like, you could do like a Hydra Guardian build where your third base is actually at this, say, 12 o'clock position next to Light. So you've got a very quick rally point to him. Hydra's on the ground, and if you morph your Guardians up there as well, you can both defend the 12 o'clock and launch very quick assaults to the natural of the Terran. So even though it's a very strong macro map, there's rooms to be cheeky as well with the kind of the hiding of the third hatchery and keeping the Terran guessing and doing some craziness. But we might not necessarily see that kind of play here from Soma. I imagine he will want to lean quite heavily on his Mutalisk control. A very potent, aggressive Zerg, can macro really well as on top of that, but one of the things that makes him shine is just his sheer aggression and control of his units as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm not expecting him to do anything cheesy here at all. He's kind of doing what we would anticipate, which is getting a really good timing on his lair, preparing for that Mutalisk phase, and just making the bare minimum here to defend against Light, who thought about moving out on the map with some Marines, but thought better of it when he was scouting. I mean, there's going to be 6 lings made, so he definitely made the right choice. But, I mean, this isn't too bad for Soma either. 6 lings is not really going to slow him down here. It's either that or a sunken colony, and it's... I think 6 lings is a bit preferable.
Yeah, I like the greedy positioning of the Overlords from Soma here. You can see the Overlord on the far left getting into that cheeky pocket between the natural and the third here. That will provide very good scouting information on Light's bio movements later on. And, I mean, Light's the kind of guy that wants to apply a lot of pressure with strong timings against Zerg. He will cut SCV production a lot, and a lot earlier than these other guys will. Around about, like, let's say, the 35 mark. He will just stop SCV production entirely eventually and allow him to squeeze out extra units and tech timings that will sometimes surprise the Zerg if they're not familiar with his style. And even if you are familiar with it, it can still kind of make your eyes bulge out of your head with how strong it is. He's one of these guys that will very commonly do like some kind of 4-axe play. Bit of a delayed range, but such a potent mid-game timing attack that he will just explode out onto the map all at once. And unless you've got the prerequisite lurker transition and sunkens on time, you will just get absolutely obliterated.
It's kind of eye-popping to me how Soma is able to get all of this out. He got such a fast layer, went into a 2.5 hatch, and he starts a base in the bottom left-hand corner. Of course, he's got to sacrifice somewhere, and it's going to be in this Mutalisk timing. At least here at the beginning, he's not going to be producing Mutalisk full time. He's just popping out the Overlords now, which is a little bit late in compared to when the Spire finished. So he represented a very strong Mutalisk timing here, that he was going to be putting on a lot of pressure to Light, and then he went for a much more economic follow-up, and he's not really going to make the mutas that Light was expecting from him until a little bit later on. So we'll see if Soma can take advantage of this good macro position, and if Light over defends here or just doesn't get aggressive enough to punish it.
Yeah, I'm curious. We see that 4-axe from Light, like I was talking about, so no surprise there. The question is, how does Soma want to navigate this? I mean, we've seen a lot of players, kind of go a little bit light on their Mutalisks initially. No matter what you do, you tend to want to try and get up to 7 as quickly as possible so you can start coming in here and one-shotting SCVs, but it's also possible he doesn't make too many and just wants to squeeze out some drones. I think he is going to go up to 7 at least, and then maybe start squeezing out some greedy drones. That's also very common. Good shutdown here from Light, preventing a stab into the main base. It's not quite yet 7 though, so Soma won't want to go deep just yet. He just wants to see if he can stab a couple of Marines, identify the buildings and tech timings here from Light as much as possible. Great turret positioning though from Light all around, making it hard for Soma to really accomplish much. And Light already starting to put on the pressure for medics so he can stim a little bit more brazenly and put a little bit more pressure onto Soma, who might be forced to make Zerglings and or Sunkens before those lurkers come online.
This is a lot of Mutalisk now. Soma's production is starting to kick off. He's spent all of his gas. He's getting his 3rd gas online now. And he is in a position where shutting down this bio is a possibility for sure. With this extra production here in the main and that 3rd gas coming online, he's going to look for little snipes here and there, but he's whittling down this army slowly but surely. Will Light be able to continually reinforce this and keep it alive, or is Soma going to be able to overwhelm?
Yeah, the main goal of the Terran is to stay in a square formation when not moving around, and the Zerg will try and dog that Bioball and sit between the natural rally and that Bioball to prevent reinforcement, as well as be close enough to pounce on it if it does try and move. At the very least, fly in and force a stim, then back out again like we just saw there. There's a 10-second timer before that stim runs out. It's going to start to try and drain the energy wells of those medics just a little bit. Now try and poking into the main production line, see if he can get a snipe on one of these turrets or two. some Marines there to buffer against that. So he's taking a bit of damage onto his Mutalisk. Does lose one, but here comes the Zergling Mutalisk stab. Trying to do some damage now to Light. He's going for a counterattack though. This is something that Flash would do back in the day. Just ignore the damage back at home. Try and go for his own assault, and hopefully with his rallied forces, claw back control over his main line. But it doesn't look so good for Light right now. He's completely overrun. He's going to be shut down in production. Can Light get in here and do enough damage to compensate for this? I'm not so sure.
This looks great for this looks great for Light. He's just going to overwhelm this easily. Base trade situations most times go the way of Terran.
Yes.
He's going to be able to just crush through this natural. And as he comes up the ramp, Soma's going to have to put on some amazing micro. I mean, he only has a few more mutas here, so he's not really able to one-shot anymore. A few more links pop out. He's really desperate to hold this. Light just equally as desperate to get up this ramp. He's kind of ended the attack in the main base, it seems, from Soma. He's kind of pushed him back for now. But he's going to come back in again. He wasn't forced to go home here. However, he's going to lose every drone in the main. You know what? Light's going to be building a lot of turrets at that natural. If he's managed to put up, 6, 7, 8 turrets in that natural, it's going to be super hard for Soma to end this.
Yeah, it is going to be hard to end it for sure. I mean, this is crazy on both sides. Light has an armory to try and maybe build a Valkyrie or two, but he has to float those starports to the safety of the natural to do so. Has lost control of the main, but one base Terran still very potent. Light killing both bases in the bottom right. Soma forced to replace build a Hydra Den in that bottom left, but without a lair, he cannot start Lurker upgrade. Well, unless he has it already, and he would be able to make some Lurkers over on that ramp. Can he somehow finish the game with just these 10 Mutalisks we see here? I'm not so sure. There's a lot of turrets here for Light. Has built a control tower now. Unless Soma kills that armory immediately, we will be seeing some Valkyries, and Light remaking that armory actually to guarantee that unit from coming to pass. Can Soma shut down Light from being able to build that armory and kill this starport? Might give him a chance back in this game.
Not too many turrets left over here. Still a lot of mutas. He has to cancel the armory. Big moment here as he cancels that. Going to be repairing his starport as well. This base is wide open. Soma's hoping to, I guess, make lurkers over there. He's got the Hydralisk Den still, but I'm not sure if he finished that lurker upgrade. Flying in now here with these Marines. He's going to be able to kill that. It's a shame he didn't stop to kill the single building left. Okay, he actually built another one over here. He's just going for a finisher.
Wow.
Like, he's just going to have to win with these mutas. There's no two ways about it. Looks like the mutas are going to come back. Try to kill these Marines. This is, I think, a done deal. Light is going to take this game, I believe. I mean, can he actually win this fight?
Yeah, I think
guess
he might just
wins.
barely clear up these Marines.
Oh my gosh, and he keeps the hatchery alive with 3 minerals. He's got 3 minerals,
He hit 4 drones. He hit 4 drones, so he has some mining now. He can get a little bit of money back, and he's even got a drone here over the far right-hand side of the map. This is absolute craziness. Only in this season of ASL can we see such wild and wacky games. Really intense stuff. What a crazy bait trade. Can Soma somehow find a way to close it? I mean, he can range down these starports that are on the periphery. These turrets do not do a great job of covering some of these buildings. The Valkyrie does build faster than any other.
I don't know why he didn't take the opportunity of that army going back. The mutas heading back home to the bottom left to make a few more turrets to surround this starport. He's going to go ahead and lose the starport on the high ground. Got to cancel that Valkyrie. Second Valkyrie going to be making here in the natural. He just needs to get this Valkyrie out so desperately. Lings are going to try to run up this ramp. Valkyrie here right over top of the turrets. He's trying to get a shot off. He will get one off, but immediately dives upon it. He gets it. Kill on the Valkyrie. Wow. Second Valkyrie pops out, but he's losing these Valkyries, and so he's just never going to hit this critical mass.
But he is squeezing out drones, we have to point out, so maybe, just maybe, there's a way of clawing back into this game. I have to point out also that the turrets. Oh, the fire bat! The fire bat! He's gonna come and have some Korean barbecue, saying some Korean Zerg barbecue. See if he can roast those drones. It is very low on HP. Will take just 5 drone hits to kill that with the armor upgrade. Kind of insanity that we're witnessing here. Maybe actually 6 hits
No
because
way.
of the natural +1 armor. This is crazy. If he's not
No
paying
way.
attention, he does kill another Valkyrie though, Saiyan. What is even happening in this game? He's going into the base. Does he see? Is he paying attention? He can't kill the Firebat. It stims, so it's even low HP. 3 damage a hit from these spines with the Hawk Tour. Can he get us around and kill this Firebat? Or is this Firebat going to be enjoying some barbecue?
I can't believe he went after the Overlord in this situation and lost one of those Valkyries, Xun. I mean,
Yeah.
Light is crazy. He does get some damage in that bottom left. He does slow down the mining here, and he will buy himself some time to get a couple of Valkyries. Will he have enough? I think with just 3 Valkyries, he should be able to win this fight, but he's moving forward with 2. Wait, just get all the Valkyries together. Light, are you crazy, man? He's got a few more Marines out now. Looks like he has enough to just kind of hold here on the high ground. Soma gonna restart from the beginning of the game now with a hatchery down on the low ground. He's taking his natural. I mean, he's not even got a spawning pool, Xun. What are we even watching?
Wow. I mean, we're watching pure insanity. It's lucky for Soma that the Perdition Flamethrower off that Firebat didn't go to town and have a cookout with all of those drones, but still lost a little bit of mining time as a result. And there is suboptimal mining for Light in the natural, but after resecuring this main base, Light technically still way ahead in this game. Can he just, chill out, relax, and figure a way back into just closing out what probably should have already been his game?
All right, we're having a little bit of lag there, Xun. Hope that corrects itself here soon. I think just getting out the Hydralisk Den in a situation like this, trying to get some lurkers as soon as possible, probably going to be the right call. But, I mean, can't even get that in time. 3 Valkyries making their way across the map, chasing down these mutas. He's going to split off one of those mutas to take the shots here. But, I mean,
oh no!
Oh my gosh, he's going to try and take this fight. He's just going to get completely wiped out.
GG.
That's it. GG is called. Finally tapping out there. Soma not able to recover. A crazy gambit. Just go for the throat there. The base trade hardly ever works out against Terran, and we can see why just there.
Damn, Light, man. Whew. I mean, he didn't make that look easy, but that was certainly interesting.
Looks like you're cutting out again, Xun. Yeah, it did not look easy there. Was a very hard-fought game. I thought that Light was going to be able to make enough turrets in the natural initially as the main base was being gutted to just hold out against those mutas, but Soma managed to keep enough mutas alive with that fantastic micro to just keep challenging the starport there, keep on putting pressure to the starport. He almost killed it multiple times, but the little moves from Light getting small bits of forces down to that bottom left to just constantly keep the pressure on and force the mutas to keep returning back home actually won him this game. He just kept that pressure on, didn't allow Soma to just sit there and keep hitting that starport. I don't think we're going to see another game like that in the entirety of ASL, Xun. That was just nutty gameplay on both sides.
Really wild.
Yeah, the gamble play there didn't pay off. It kind of reminds me actually about that Best versus Snow game that we had yesterday. The base trade is such a wild move when so much is on the line here.
Yeah, I hope that the internet situation rectifies itself. Everything seems okay my end, saying, so I'm not actually sure what's happening, guys. But we're about to see some of the best Terran versus Zerg action in a long time. ASL Season 20 Group D Light versus Soma. It's game number 2, guys. This is going to get really hot really quickly. The map is going to be Metropolis. Let's get it on.
Light spawning there in the top left. Soma here in the bottom left. And on Metropolis, Light has just one more game, just one more win, and he can make his way into the round of 8 with a flawless record here in the round of 16. Soma looking to make that an impossibility here. We'll see if he's able to put things together. I mean, he could have made a different decision in that last game. He could have turned around and went back home. We've actually seen other Zerg players just in this tournament alone go for plays like what we saw from Soma, but make the sunken colonies way faster. It seemed like Soma made the decision to dive, but just was a little late on the sunkens. You either have to, like, you can make sunkens on the high ground too if you think that you're going to lose your natural, but he made a bunch of sunken colonies late on the low ground, and so kind of put himself in a rough position where he wasn't really going to be able to hold.
Yeah, I mean, if he could have gotten those sunkens just a little bit quicker, either in the natural or the main, maybe that game would have looked a lot different, and suddenly we could be seeing a tempo victory here for Soma. But for the time being, Light looking like the guy that might be breaking through to that round of 8. It'll be pretty exciting for him to join us there. But it's not over yet. Soma more than capable of taking 2 games in a row. You see a pretty standard wall in here from Light that's become a bit meta in the modern era, to the point where they've had to start making these maps with little patches of rocky terrain or something to prevent that being a perfect wall. So there's still a little bit of a gap, a little bit of counterplay available to the Zerg to potentially punish. And I think that's a necessary change in most of these maps now. And we will be seeing a pretty orthodox 2-hatch timing from Soma as well.
Yeah, a little bit on the more aggressive side. He went for an 11 hatch, 10 pool, 10 gas. So
okay,
he is going to have that hatchery up a little bit sooner. But orthodox in that the timing of the gas is about the same as it would be with the 12 hatchery play. So we'll see how that changes the build here, changes the game plan from Soma, how he wants to try and get in here. I mean, with a build like this, usually you can't afford a 2.5 hatch, but somehow these pro gamers are so good at hitting their macro these days, at hitting the mineral boosting as well, and just picking the right patches. Some of them can just slip it out regardless, and yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah, 11 hatches basically a mineral optimized build. You have to be really on point to make it work. And you can see that from Soma here. He got a 250 lair. Good luck trying to hit that on the ladder, guys, unless you're a high-level Zerg. Really difficult to do so, especially with 11 hatch. And if you have got the mineral optimizations, this is a nice way of playing. You know, kind of cutting a teeny tiny bit of corners off. And also that faster Larva available to you can get your economy off the ground in pretty much the same way as a 12 hatch, but does give you some more counterplay options against fast plays, like say an engineering way block can be prevented. We're getting on top of these Marines right now. 4 Marines can beat 4 Zerglings with micro. Light doing a pretty good job of bringing those Marines back, but not good enough. Soma wins out the fight, taking all of those down, and that's definitely a good trade for Soma.
Absolutely. He makes the 6 Lings again. Just making the right choice there. He's been unlucky in both these 2 games so far, where he didn't get the Overload Scout initially, so he wasn't able to see the wall or the move-out timing or anything like that, but he just makes the correct number here, the safety Lings, to make sure that Naked Marines can't harm him. Like you said, you can win that fight with the Marines, and it can go kind of one-sidedly, but Light messed up a little bit there with having his Marines so clumped, and then as the Lings attacked in, he wasn't able to pull back the Marine that was getting targeted at the front. So, you know, a little bit of a mistake there. Also, you know, Soma lost the Ling initially. It could have gone bad for him, but with all the mistakes that happened, we're pretty well evened out, except for, you know, Light going to be feeling that a bit when it comes to his move-out timing. He's not going to have quite as many Marines when he wants to try and put some pressure on.
He just 5 with 1 medic at the 5-minute mark, definitely losing a lot of its potential potency. So we're not feeling threatened at all, and doesn't need to make too many more Zerglings. Actually just gonna make a single sunken behind this for safety, and taking the natural expansion as his 3rd in the bottom right. That's a very common thing in the meta now. Something I used to do many years ago, and it didn't seem that popular back then, but I guess that trend caught on. I guess enough people figured out that it was a good way of playing to get that easy to establish 4th gas. It's not like I invented it or anything, but I picked up that trend early. And honestly, it's a very strong way of playing Zerg. The only issue is you have to be in the driver's seat. You have to identify the move-out timings of the Terrans. They can't just come across the map and easily snipe that. It's a bit easier to kill that hatchery before the Mutalisk can stop it against something like a 2 racks play. But there are situations where even if they do kill it and you clear up the Bioforce with the Mutas, and you can actually put the pressure on and go for a tempo 2-base play and still win. So it's a very strong way of approaching the game from this era. Soma coming to main base now, shutting off one of those building SCVs, but honestly taking a lot of damage onto those Mutalisks already. He needs to be careful. Despite killing those Marines early, he doesn't want to get complacent now.
He's just going to be rallying forward here and biding his time. No need to fully attack in until that +1 attack is done. Look for some little trades here and there, but building up that Mutalisk count and keeping the health on those high is very important. He's going to start 3 Sunkens. He's diving. He's diving. He's just going for it.
He's
here.
learned his lesson.
Yeah, this is what he should have done last time. Make sure the Sunkens are on the way before diving in, and the counterattack will not be nearly as potent. Maybe Light could break that, break this this defensive wall, but he'll have so many less Marines that, you know, Soma might be able to win in a base trade situation. They're going to come up now, and yeah, this is actually looking amazing for Soma now. He can absolutely stay, but it looks like he's going to turn around and go back home.
Yeah, I mean, the Mutalisks will actually hit his own Sunken a couple of times with the circling there just by frantically clicking all over the place. But, I mean, this is great for Soma. Now he's a bit of panic here from Light, trying to get a bunker finished. Does manage to get, like, 1 or 2 Marines into that bunker, too, it looks like. But it's not necessarily going to be enough. Soma's already done the damage he needs to. Now he can still reign supreme in the main mineral line as well. Turret about to come online, but not quite finished. He's going to try and send more and more SCVs to get on top of that. But just feeding SCVs into Soma while trying to get that second turret online. Preemptive repair ready for the other turret, but it doesn't matter. So many SCVs have been shaved off by Soma right now, who's just lining up Light for an equalizer.
Yeah, this is just Soma. He's hitting a great timing here. He had that amazing early layer, was able to sneak that out. Wasn't able to get the 2.5 hatch, but this time he went full-on aggression mode when it comes to just making Mutalisks early. He hit Light before he was ready and prepared properly for the counterattack with these extra Sunkens. Looks like he's going to get a Mutalisk caught here, maybe even a drone. I heard a drone go down.
Yeah,
so he must
too.
be just setting those drones directly across the map there with the rally. 2 more Sunken colonies coming up now. These Mutas, actually a secondary group of Mutas here harassing the supply lines of Light, and a Sunken, or I guess just a creep colony going up in the front there just to buy some time and kind of mess with the AI as Light tries to push forward. He's going to dive in on top of this, but there's no way you're breaking this. Not in a million years here, Light. And Soma's going to get a quick win. Very nicely done. GG, and we're going to a final match between these two. Best of 3. It's on now, Xun. Who's going to win this? I mean, Soma looked really powerful there in that game.
Oh, absolutely. That was a very crisp timing on that layer. 2 minutes 50, like we talked about, with very strong mineral optimizations with that 11 hatch as well. Really potent stuff from him. And now has the tempo as well. Light, a little bit on the back foot now going into game number 3. Looked really solid in game 1 with handling that crazy base trade scenario. But honestly, got a tiny bit lucky that Soma was sleeping on his defenses back at home and allowing those Bioforces to do as much damage as they did. And Soma still managed to clinch it out. This is looking bad for Light if he can't keep his head in the game, Sam.
Yeah, it's funny that on Radion cross map, he wasn't able to get the Sunkens out in time. And then here on Metropolis vertical spawns, he was able to get them out. It's just a difference in the way of going about it, right? He decided to go in, and so he made the Sunken colonies before going in. Last time, he went in, and then he decided to make the Sunken colonies afterwards while the attack was already happening. So just a little bit of a small difference there, but it turns out so much better for Soma. He's got his mojo back, and we're ready to get into this decider match, guys. Winners match decider here between Soma and Light. I am so excited.
Yeah, this is gonna be epic, guys. I mean, this is a really crazy high octane Terran versus Zerg, potentially being closed out in the early minutes of the game. Light is gonna have to dig deep if he wants to make it through to that quarterfinals. We're about to find out, guys. The round of 16, Group D, winners match between Light and Soma. Game number 3. It's gonna be crazy. And the map, it's Dominator. Oh, jeez.
Light spawning down here in the bottom left. Soma, top center. Worst spawn for Light. Unfortunate for him. He's cursing his bad luck right now because Soma is an expert in tearing apart those these early Terran players with those Mutalisks. It'll be even easier here with that big open back area behind your main mineral patches. It's so hard to cover all this main base with turrets.
Whew. I mean, yeah. I mean, you would think, if you're a bit of a layman, that top left is worse for Terran because of how the gas is far off to the side and there's more turret coverage necessary for zone control. But the reality is, this massive dead zone pocket in the bottom left, so easy to exploit for Zerg to rotate around, punish the natural mineral line, as well as threatening the ramp if your Marines aren't inside your main base, and making it really hard to cover your tech buildings. Very common for Terrans to want to tuck away their tech buildings at the back center of their base configuration, and that's exactly where that pocket is open to being exploited. So Light will have a tricky time navigating this. Might even be thinking about some kind of Valkyrie build to compensate.
Overpull from Soma. He's expecting maybe a rush here, or thinking about putting on his own pressure, but Light is just going for a wall.
Whoa.
And I mean, he should be pretty darn safe. This could be completely shut out by Light and put him into a position where maybe he can hold against Mutas here.
Well, because this isn't a great map for Terran, at least in the early phases, he's thinking Light will either BBS me or something like that, or he might do something super cheesy, try and get a 14cc or something as well. So yeah, Soma's keeping his options open just in case he needs to respond to early aggression, as well as maybe apply some pressure to Light being super greedy. It isn't easy to shut down a 14cc with an overpull, but you can put on some pressure and equalize the situation. So yeah, I don't necessarily fault this from Soma. He's playing super safe in this final game, knowing that Light might not be super happy with this map pick and be wanting to look to put on some pressure or be super greedy.
Well, he's only made 4 lings here, so he hasn't done the absolute full commit with the early ling pressure. He's actually just going to focus on getting rid of this pesky SCV, hide his layer timing if he can. Another 2-minute 50 layer timing here, so looks like it's going to be another crisp Mutalisk timing, that's for sure.
Yeah,
very unlikely that he goes for some sort of lurker play, but it's always a possibility, and he manages to get rid of that SCV. Lurker, I mean, wouldn't be too bad, actually, to go for Lurker in a situation like this.
Well, I mean, Lurkers are good against Wall-ins, and they're good against 1-Rax plays. They're really weak to a fast 2-Rax academy, but it is common in the meta these days to try and rush for that +1 timing.
Also, they're very good. They're very good against. Sorry, Xun. They're very good against Valkyrie, and with Light in bottom left, there's a good chance he goes Valkyrie here to contend with the Mutalist threat.
Exactly. Yeah, we talked a little bit earlier how it's very likely that Light will be thinking about some kind of Valkyrie build, so Lurkers would have potency there. The problem is that Lurkers aren't great at the pro level, especially when they're scouted. So he's going to want to keep this SCV out if he did want to go for something like that. And I think, wait, did he put down a Hydra Den? No, he didn't. Okay.
Spire timing, not at all unexpected here. Lings going to be diving on top of these Marines, and Looks like he will clear all of this up without losing a single drone. Wow, really good pull and good target fire as well. That can go so bad for you as a Zerg, but he managed to handle that really, really well. Light not pulling back quite as well as he could, and Soma just getting the right connections at the right moment there. With the perfect hold, he's going to be feeling very good about his position now.
Yeah, not surprised to see the Spire either, saying really nice defense from Soma, and we'll be turning this into a pretty orthodox fast 2-hatch muta into potentially a 3rd hatchery here as well. We'll have to see what he wants to go for. Light, you know, kind of optimizing his tech timings more towards the academy this time around. We'll have a pretty on time. Oh, look at that from Soma. He's having some problems with his earplugs or something. He just took both his hands off his keyboard and mouse to adjust his earphones and headphones right now. I don't know what's going on with Soma, but he's having some trouble with his audio, maybe readjusting those earphones. He has got a bit of a time to do that. He probably wants to do that quickly before he has to start controlling his mutalisks, because this is about the only phase of the game where he doesn't have to do a lot. So if he has got some issues with his audio, I totally understand wanting to sort that out now.
Yeah, he's not calling a pause just yet. Maybe it was just one of his headphones falling out inside of the earphone. You're actually wearing these big ear muffs over top of in-ear headphones to make sure that you can't hear anything that's going on in the studio that could give away just anything. You don't want to be hearing anything at all. So it can cause a bit of an issue. Looks like it's been sorted. Soma bringing forward these mutas and grabbing a 3rd base over at that natural. It's kind of uncommon to see that natural get taken on this map. A lot more common to see kind of a Hydraless Defiler follow-up with the 12 o'clock being taken, but he's actually going to go for it here, more orthodox style. I like to see it.
Well, with the triangular configuration of this map, can be hard to keep track of the bio movements of the Terran. You have to really be on top of your Mutalist control, so you don't lose track of that. Terran can do some weird pathing and really avoid you hunting those down and stopping them from getting a surprise attack on, to say, that 3rd base over there, or even slipping into your natural if you don't keep track of them. But Soma going for a bit of a backstab now, trying to get on top of the production line of Light. There's 2 turrets and a few Marines pulling the army back of Light. He's not going for a counterattack now. He's just pulling back to counter this damage in his main base. A lot of softened up Mutalisks in the main, now down to 6. Pretty potent damage from Soma, but nothing game-ending. He has got a few creep colonies for safety in case Light was to go for a base trade against him, but Soma's main goal is to slow down the tech timing here of Light and keep him locked on these bio units.
Well, Light turned around this time. He decided not to go for it. As long as he... Oh, gosh, these links coming in are so sick. He's getting in here at the perfect time. Light just moved his army all the way back and into the main base, and now Lings arrive right in behind that. He actually gets a turret kill. Soma's very light on drones right now.
Yes.
Paying for all those sunken colonies, all those creeps, hurt his economy really, really badly. And so this turnaround from Light, if he manages to hold, he's going to be in a great spot.
Right, well, the game plan here from Soma is, since he's so light on drones, he's going to be trying to deny this factory from being built for a little bit of time. That will stop the tech timings of Light, you know, outscaling him dramatically, but you're completely right. He's so light on drones that he might still be in a little bit of trouble here. He committed to 3 creep colonies that aren't going to be providing any value. He's going to try and swing around to the natural now, take out one of the turrets to open up the position, see if he can exploit those SCVs and start to abuse that dead zone pocket in the bottom left as well to swing into the main. He's going to do that now. Light putting on some counter pressure. He has got those 3 creeps to morph into Sunkens for safety. Now going to be hitting the mineral line in the main. Light taking a lot of damage from Soma. Soma definitely could turn it into a great position, throwing down 2 additional creep colonies as well for that base trade scenario. Those creep colonies finally going to pay off for him, and that's Light playing into Soma's hands a little bit here as a result.
I can't believe he doesn't have anything in this bunker. What are we doing? He pulled everything out of the bunker. He's going to lose all the SCVs here and the natural. There's so many sunken colonies right now for Soma. Light is going to just dive that. He's just going to attack directly into that.
He's crazy.
I mean, he's going to go for it. If he just turns around and goes back home now, the game is over. This is a bottleneck situation here for Light. Look at how many Marines are running around behind this. He is breaking through, though. He is getting in on top of everything, and Soma's probably going to end up losing this natural unless he's bringing back the mutas now. He's actually going to go and try to save this hatchery. Does he have enough to stop this?
He did kill so many SCVs, Saiyan, so he probably can do this. Will he save the hatchery? That he's going to dive into this. Zergling's coming into support. Mutalist now trying to target fight. He can't kill the hatchery. Just going to try and trade off as many mutas as possible. Not good enough. Light knows it. He's even thinking about tapping out right now because he has to float the CC back to the main just to not lose it. He can't really afford a Valkyrie either. He's got hardly any minerals. Valkyries are so mineral dense in terms of their costs. Light's in a world of hurt. The one unit that he needs to stabilize this position, he can't afford.
I mean, I think that Soma kind of forced this situation on Light by going into the back corner.
Exactly.
But he was completely set up. I think Light saw that there was going to be those sunken colonies coming. He saw the 3 sunken colonies 100%. He knew that the money had already been spent. Just staying back at home and being defensive was probably the right call. But having the Mutalisk in this back pocket, he just didn't want to play against that, and he pays the price. GG. Soma goes through to the round of 8. Incredible performance here. Kind of doing the same game plan 3 times in a row, though, and it worked twice.
I mean, he's rattled Light. Light is, I mean, he occasionally gets a bit tilted. We've seen that in that Terran versus Protoss against Best in the last ASL, where he just, instinctually went for a 2 factory after an early game disaster. Rarely you will get under this guy's skin, but not usually, and Soma's rattled him here a little bit. I mean, you could just see the head tilt from Light. Well, as soon as those medics saw the 3rd hatchery and how many drones were mining there, he was so frustrated. Like, are you kidding me? The game wasn't even that close. Soma's just completely outmaneuvered him and forced him into bad situation, and that's rare for Daddy Terran to be put into such a position, Saiyan, and that's a great way to be going out of your group 2-0. Soma gets through to the quarterfinals in style.
Bad luck, Light. Never lucky. Man, getting that bottom left spawn on Dominator definitely hurts a lot. Coming up here. Let's take another look at this because I thought the micro from Soma's really good. Let's see what Light was doing in this moment, because I was kind of watching the Zerglings and how they were going to be connecting, looking for drone kills. He pulled back 1 Marine there at the front. 2nd Marine got pulled back a little bit as well, but the surround was just so good. Look, he's kind of blocking him in and getting damage consistently with the drones the whole time. So even with a bit of micro there, still not able to pull off any damage, and Soma got himself a good advantage, and he steamrolled through, doing the same strategy here for the 3rd time in a row and making it work.
I mean, he just barely held with the Sunkens, but as long as he reduced that Marine count down to a sub-control group, he was fine, and he got it down to 10. So now it's an easy cleanup for this Mutalisk Ling Force, and it even saves the hatchery. It's on about 250 HP or so. Really well calculated from Soma as well, using that HP of the hatchery as a resource to get a more optimal trade with the Mutaling to guarantee closing out the game after the fact, and had a lot of drones saturating that 3rd base as well to guarantee longevity. Really high-level stuff from Soma all around. We expected good things from him, and he is not disappointing, Saiyan, at all.
Yeah, Soma back from the hyperbolic time chamber. He's been watching the scene from as an outsider for the past couple of years, or a year and a half, however long that military service was exactly. He was unable to participate, but definitely keeping tabs on everyone, and it seems like he discovered Light's weakness, that he may be struggling with these sort of all-in plays with the mutas while sunkening up back at home. We've seen other Zergs try to attempt it, even in this tournament, but nobody did it better than Soma in game number 1 and in game number 2 and game number 3. That first game, a little bit off there, but still, it was close.
I would say more semi all in than all in. Like, he has points of transition. He just needs to do a lot of damage with it, right? And I mean, that's the difference. Like, he's not doing, like, say, a 12 pool 2 hatch all in muta where he has no point of transition. He's setting himself up for these niche scenarios where he does a little bit of damage, not quite enough to end the game, and has a a comeback potential of just saturating those additional mineral fields and coming back into the game. So he's a very aggressive player, but he has contingency plans, and that's how the best cheesy players operate. They don't just, gamble it all on one hoorah. They've got these like multifaceted game plans. Like you'll see like individuals like Zealot, like he won't just do a lurker bust. He'll do like a 12 hatch lurker bust into a 3 hatch all-in muta play. Like there's contingencies, there's layers of the cheese, saying it's like a triple cheese pizza with a stuffed crust. It's rather exceptional stuff.
I don't think Soma doing anything groundbreaking in this series, but just doing it really, really well, Xun. The control from him
Yeah.
when it comes to Mutalis is something to witness, man. We really are blessed in these times. Watching here, ASL Season 20 has been an absolute banger so far, and having Soma go through into the round of 8, I think it just makes things even more exciting. And we do now have 2 Zergs in that round of 8. Or that's exciting as well. I was afraid
Yeah.
that we were only going to have 1, so I'm glad.
Well, yeah, no, totally. I feel like it would be great as well if we get some Terrans there, and Light could still do that. He will be waiting in the finals match to figure out who he will be playing against now. I mean, what's your predictions about how this will go? What will happen between Larva and Speed, and who will be facing off against Light, and which one of them will be advancing as well? I would ideally want a Terran, but I mean, I'm a big fan of Larva. Wouldn't mind him joining us there as well, but ideally, I want to see a more even distribution. I want to see either Light or Speed join us.
Well, I want to say that Speed will take down Larva today, but from his performance there in that first game versus Light, it feels like the gravity of the moment kind of gets to him. Um, we
Yeah,
saw it last season as well. Round of 16, he just didn't look as
exactly.
good as the round of 24. Here again, maybe that's kind of getting to him. I hope he can shake it off. Barracks certainly seemed to have shaken it off this season.
Right.
Where last season he had a hard time. But Light or sorry, Speed, I mean, maybe he's just that type of player. It takes him longer to kind of relax here on stage, and I'm hoping he can put out a good showing here. But Larva's just going to be super calm, collected. He's going to have some tricky plays as well, and he's going to put the pressure on Speed to perform. I like if this was an online match, I would say Speed for sure, but I'm just not sure here soon. Shouldn't.
Yeah, no, I hear what you're saying. I mean, I hope that Speed isn't a superstitious guy as well, because if he still struggles to break out into that round of A, he might be worried about there's some kind of curse or something where he's always getting through to this stage of the tournament and just can't progress. This is his 3rd time now in a row. He needs to buck that trend and finally start to make some progress. It's common for a lot of these guys. They can go a little bit into the tournament, put their feet in the water, but they can't handle the deep end, and he's going to have to learn to swim soon in this event because it's one of the craziest gaming tournaments in the world, saying nothing really competes to the zero-sum game of StarCraft Brood War. I mean, you could argue something like Age of Empires 2 is a little bit close in its task switching, but nothing really does compare to this absolute beast. We're going to be going to break here, guys. Don't go anywhere. Run to the bathroom, grab some water, grab some fruit, whatever your tipple of choice is, and join us for that losers match. It's going to be Larva versus Speed. Don't go anywhere.
All right, guys, we are back. Just like that, it's time for the losers match. Larva versus Speed. There's the hairdryer, Xun. He's back. He's ready. Larva is such a fun character. He's such a great character to have in the ASL. I love his videos as well. He has a ton of YouTube videos, and he's got a ton of subscribers as well. Very popular character in the StarCraft space, and you guys should definitely check him out.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, he plays against cheaters. He does all kinds of like fun little challenges and stuff like that for himself. Spends most of his time kind of hanging out, laughing on stream, and just kind of messing with opponents on the ladder. But he is an incredibly skilled player as well.
Well, one of my favorites was when he had the giant keyboard, like literally the size of his desk. That was hilarious, watching him just like struggle to reach across and hit the keys. Just struggling just to keep up with his macro cycles. Definitely go check out that guy. Really funny. He's going to be facing off against Speed here, an up-and-coming Terran. Has a hard time keeping his nerves in check at this stage of the tournament. I hope he can really perform for us. He always does so good in the round of 24 and then kind of falls apart here in the round of 16. Really do hope he can buck that trend. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, yeah, it was funny that I'm just thinking about the big keyboard again. He had a girl holding down the control key. Anyway, go ahead, Xun.
Yeah, ASL Season 20 Group D losers match between Larva and Speed. Game number 1, guys. It's going to be Dominator.
Larva spawning in the top center, and look at this. Speed in bottom left. Ah, 2 in a row here, Xun. Both Light and Speed getting a bit of an unlucky roll of the dice. Winding up in a unfortunate starting position. It's going to be hard to fight back against the mutalist play from a Larva, but Speed may have a Valkyrie build or something in his back pocket to try and pull out in a tough spot like this.
Well, Terran propagandists rejoice. I mean, you've got a lot to complain about now, you know? It's just not fair, right, guys? It keeps happening to Terrans, those poor Terrans. Surely we need some more activism there for the Terran race, some more spokespeople to make sure that the truth gets out there saying, and everyone knows just how good Terran players are, and it's just not fair.
Yeah, certainly. There's got to be a Reddit post out there, a Reddit poster who's furiously writing and letting us all know how imbalanced this game is. Go on over to our StarCraft and you'll find plenty of those players, plenty of those posters. Now we've got Speed here, opening up with a normally timed Rax, getting into a Wallen, similar to how Light opened, but I'm watching out for that gas here, Xun. Wondering when it will happen. When is he going to try and switch things up, kind of diverge from the normal Marine medic play versus StRyKeR?
Right. Well, I mean, quick scout from Speed on the high ground, sees the incoming Overlord, so he knows where Larva is. Larva went for a pull first into gas, so being a bit safe against any potential 8 racks, BBS, 10 racks pressure. And I mean, we saw a similar thinking from Soma, and it paid off well for him. What will happen this time around? This is a much quicker gas optimization from Larva, though, so this could be an all-in 2-hatch Muta play. We'll have to see the exact lair timings and what have you. The fast SCV scout into the main base obviously going to help line up Speed, though, to defending as best as he can, but surely he's thinking about a Valkyrie build now after watching how badly things went for Light.
I mean, it's got to be in the back of his mind here, surely thinking about a play like that. We saw how strong that could be in Group A when Barracks was able to take down Soul Key with the Valkyrie build. I mean, can he repeat that sort of success? Is he even willing to try? That gas has been taken. I don't see an eBay. I think we're going to have a factory here soon.
Yeah, he built the gas a little bit earlier, which is indicative of a very fast tech timing. So I imagine that will be the case. And very crisp lair timing way before that 250 mark. So this definitely is going to be a 2-hatch all-in muta play from Larva as well. Just a matter of execution now. Both players probably pretty sure of what's going to happen in this game. It's all going to come down to how they can best execute that. You got the 333 factory coming down now from Speed to try and optimize for that timing of the Valkyrie, but look at that lair and Spire timing, like 20 seconds ahead of schedule of a normal build order. So you best be strapping yourself in, because I mean those mutas are going to arrive so quickly. If you're not really on top of your adjustments and you're min-maxing as Terran, Zerg can just run rings around you.
Yeah, these are going to arrive just a little tiny bit faster. 10-20 seconds, it can make all the difference in this matchup. Yeah, and really in StarCraft in general, in a lot of cases, just getting in right as the turrets are finishing, as opposed to when they're finished, it could make all the difference in the world. We will have that starport coming down. We should have an armory starting here soon. There it is on the high ground there at the natural. Sunken colony being made here from Larva. He wants to make 0 lings. He doesn't want to make a single ling this game. And so he's just going to... Oh, he's actually got 4 lings, of course. A lot of players like... oh my gosh, you said his name earlier. Zealot will actually make no lings at all and just rely on that sunken colony so that they can absolutely min-max their timings when it comes to a two base layer like this, a 2 base mutalist timing like this. Having those extra lings though is really going to pay off when it comes to defending against this vulture, though. If he tries to run by, you can definitely stop it on the ramp.
You definitely do want the 4 lings to block the vulture, so I prefer this against the Valkyrie variant from the Terran. He's actually going double armory. Is that a mistake, or is he going mech? That's interesting. I'm not sure that's intentional. That can't be intentional. He hasn't even got the gas and the minerals to make both of the upgrades. I'm pretty sure he made a bit of a blunder there and is so stressed out from operating on the fly and making adjustments to the 2-hatch timing. He's going to come in for... Oh, the turret is not in time. This is the problem. 1-1-1 is so flimsy and everything is so weak to the initial Mutalist pressure. You have to be on top of your turret timings. They literally should be just finishing up as the Mutalists are flying in and starting to kill the SCVs, but he was a little bit behind schedule. Has got a couple of lives out. But Zergling's also going to be applying some pressure, will help out on the ground with these mutas as well, can put a clock on those turrets while the mutas distract Speed elsewhere. A lot of trouble now for Speed. He's going to start to fall apart if he's not careful.
I mean, he's already fallen apart here. He is losing complete control of his main. Lings inside here helping out against these Goliaths, and Goliaths are falling left and right. A little bit of a mistake from Larva with the rally, kind of flying into one of these turrets, but he is taking huge control here, and he's completely revealing the strategy. The double armory play here makes very little sense in a play like this, in a game like this.
It actually does make a tiny bit of sense, because Larva thinks his win condition is killing this armory, and that's not the case. Larva actually is... He might have mind gamed, I don't know for sure, but I think it was a mistake, but there's a small world where he was mind gaming Larva, and Larva now will not be thinking about the fact that there's another armory in the main base with +1 on the way, so he might miscalculate what he needs to do to win this game. Cannon Boost is now finished, does stop the turret from finishing up for the time being, but maybe that +1 armory in the main base will mind game Larva into how he should approach this. He'll be a bit surprised to see continued production of these Goliaths and won't have as big of a tempo swing as he would think. And a lot of these Mutalists are softened up, so as long as he can somehow target fire down these weakened Mutalists, there is a world where maybe Speed can stabilize. It's going to be really tough, though. Link's coming into support.
You really think that was a fake? I can't imagine it should.
It could help him at least.
I mean, it will end up helping him, but I can't imagine that was a real plan here, a plot from Speed. He is, I mean, he's kind of hanging on, but he should be dead here. Just the fact that his turrets weren't done in time, and he's going for double armory, like, there's no way you should be able to hang on, and indeed, he's going to lose so many SCVs now. It's just up to Larva to keep making mutas and just not make any serious blunders here. And he's so far ahead, he should be able to win this game.
Yeah, I mean, this is really rough for Speed now. Say he's going to get out-traded for sure. Even with that upgrade finishing up, I mean, it's just not going to be enough. GG is called, and Larva with a quick tempo win on Dominator, and frustrating Speed as well. You see a bit of a head tilt and some talking to himself, trying to figure out where it all went wrong that game and how he managed to let it slip through his fingers. Was so close to maybe getting into a position where he could stabilize, but was unsuccessful in the end. Larva just a little bit too on top of things despite having a bit of a miss rally. The turret timings were easily exploited. That's the hard thing about doing a tech timing as Terran against an all-in mutalist play with that fast of layer and spire. They will get into your base before you are ready. The point is that you're ready enough to stabilize after the fact, and he just barely wasn't. He was a little bit behind schedule.
Yeah, I mean, if he had the turrets on time, it would have been a completely different game. He saw the layer, he saw the timing of when that was happening. He just didn't quite react to it appropriately. That's a shame, man. I'm really sad to see Speed in this type of shape right now. Down 1-0 against Speed, against Larva in the losers match. Look at him. He looks listless. He's just feeling the pressure right now so much because last season the exact same thing happened. He had a great run in the round of 24, and then he got 3-0'd in the round of 16. Yeah. He's shaking his head. He is not feeling good right now, and Larva is locked in.
Yeah, absolutely. Larva looks like a Terminator right now. Absolute Chad game. ASL Season 20 Group D losers match between Larva and Speed. Game number 2. Let's see what happens. The map is going to be Polestar.
Larva spawning top right, Speed bottom left, and yeah, he just does not look happy right now, but he's not out of it. You can make a comeback. 4-pool. Oh my gosh. 4-pool here is crazy. Larva maybe just gonna hand a game over to Speed now and give him back some confidence.
I mean, what menagerie must you be imagining to go for 4-pool right now on Polestar? Is he crazy?
He is absolutely crazy, Xun. This should never work. It should never work. You're gonna have enough SCVs to fight head-to-head with the Lings and probably win this game. Speed is gonna start a wall here, but
oh jeez.
I mean, unless he was going like BBS in the middle of the map or something like that, this is just not gonna work. It's not gonna happen.
But okay, here's the thing. I'm gonna be devil's advocate for a second. Larva is doing the thing where you're like, okay, my opponent's going to be obsessing over the timing issues and the early to mid game transition. The one thing he's not going to be thinking about is something like a 4-pool. And that's the reality in these series. When you mess up in your timings or something, you obsess over that. That becomes like that's the thing I need to work on and get right in this game number 2. Or whatever. But the reality is that a lot of these guys will go for crazy cheesy plays after a long game or after a technical game where timings were missed or hiccuped. So it technically makes sense from Larva. Like, this is the one thing Speed will not be thinking about in this position probably. So I mean, maybe this works, and because Speed's a little bit tilted, a little bit steamed, hasn't got enough time to calm down. I mean, these Lings will be hitting very quickly, so that tilt might come into play in a big way now.
That's a good point. Maybe he's thinking that, if I get right, or I'm already under Speed's skin, don't let him get calmed down and,
yes,
relax in this game. We'll just put the pressure on immediately. It's a good thought here. Here comes the Lynx. He sees it. Gonna start to react, pull every single SCV and try to fight this. Let's see if Speed has the control to overwhelm these Lings. First Marine is about to pop out. He's set. He's ready to dive on that Marine, but he slips through the gap. Ooh. Big surround here. Huge surround from these SCVs. He manages to almost kill the SCVs here, but they slip into the main base. Is he going to be able to get a bunker up? He's going to take a fight here on the right-hand side. The Marine pops out. Oh, it's going around the outside. He's going to target down that Marine. Marine goes down. Second Marine has fallen here. More Lings are arriving. The SCVs are not fighting that well, and he's actually done it. He's done it. He's won with a 4-pool.
Not like this, Speed. He definitely was tilted. He had a good surround with the SCVs, but they slipped through his fingers. A big round of punches from Larva as he keeps his tournament life alive, going through to the finals match to face off against Light and leaving Speed scratching his head over where it all went wrong.
Literally scratching his head there. That's pretty hilarious. Speed, you let me down again, my friend. Oh my gosh. I had so much confidence in this man. He's been playing so well. He's been improving so much. And he played just some incredible games in the round of 24, but here he is, choking again in the round of 16. I can hardly believe it.
Well, can Larva punch the next guy's lights out? I'm not so sure. It's gonna be crazy. I mean, honestly, these TVZs have not been very particularly long, but they've definitely been interesting and action-packed, and I don't even know what's going to happen between Larva and Light in that final group. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm happy with either of these guys getting through. My original money was on Light, but who knows, Larva might be joining us and keeping the race distribution skewed against Terran and giving those propagandists more fuel, more ammunition to pop off on Reddit with.
I love the cheerfuls there. Just showing off the hair dryer. Guys, we're gonna go to short commercial break. When we get back, the final match. All right, boys and girls. Final match of the night. We're ready for Larva versus Light. Hope you guys are strapped in. You've managed to get yourself a snack here in that 5-minute break. I quickly ran to the bathroom, grabbed myself a drink, grabbed myself a snack, and I'm ready to be locked in here. This match could be really long, man. We could end up seeing like some very long epic matches between Larva and Light. Seemed like Soma wasn't interested in doing that at all, but Larva's a bit of a different character, different caliber of player.
Yes. He's definitely a very potent macro Zerg. We haven't seen a lot from him in his recent performance, so we don't know exactly what his style is leaning towards. We'll have to see what he's got planned out. Light going to be looking for a lot of strong timing attacks in that mid game, as most Terrans should, but Light tends to do it a little bit better than some of these other guys. Let's see what kind of shape he's in. He will be joining Barracks in the round of 16 or not. Like, will Light help keep the Terran chances alive, or will Larva be joining both Soma and Effort and giving us 3 Zergs? We're about to find out the ASL Season 20 Group D final match, Larva versus Light. This series is bound to be crazy, saying Dominator, our first map.
Larva, bottom left, Light, counting his lucky stars here in the center right. Best spawn on Dominator. It's feeling good right now, but that doesn't mean this is going to be a win. It's still the previous ASL champion Larva he's going up against. Both these guys have 1 championship, by the way.
Yes.
And looking for a second. It's pretty hard to imagine either of them going right to the end, but there is that possibility, Xun. Like, maybe we could see a Light finals. I'm not so sure about Larva, though. I don't know. I hesitate to doubt him because he is such an interesting player. He's such a fun player to watch, but I don't know how well he's kept up when he was, oh my gosh. Like, he was taking a break. He was taking a break for a while. He has been back for a little bit, but he did have to take some time off because of his wrist. We're gonna have an 8 racks in the middle of the map, though.
Yeah.
This is why these guys have been going for early pool. And look at this, Larva's not early pooling this time. He's not over pooling. He's gonna go for a hatch first, and I mean, how crazy is that, Xun?
I was just thinking the exact same thing as you. Literally seconds before you said it, I was thinking, yeah, that's what I'm going to say. I'm going to say these guys were going for pool in those earlier games exactly for something like this. And Larva, unfortunately, losing the rock, paper, scissors with Light. This still might not necessarily kill him. Could just do a lot of damage. You're looking for 3 drone kills or more to put the Zerg on the back foot. If you only kill 2, the game's kind of even still and sets both players back a minute relative to their usual tech timings due to the lost mining time and lack of SCVs. Once all the drones come off the line to defend against this, could be kind of crazy, saying, I mean, Light was a more recent champion in ASL Season 13. So we'll see what happens between these 2 guys. I mean, it was a long time at ASL 11, I think, for Larva. Can both of these guys look to get all the way in another championship, or will they fall flat in the round of 8? At least one of them's getting through.
He puts down another hatchery? Oh my goodness, 3 hatch before pool. Larva's dead. Larva's dead. I don't know what he was thinking here. He's going full on greed. And I mean, yeah, maybe Light can blunder, but here's the 3 Marines. Like, you never really want to fight 3 Marines with the drones. 2 drones have already fallen. He actually gets a pretty good surround. And he is going to kill. Wow, so he shuts down this attack.
Hang on.
He's keeping the hatchery alive. No cancel, by the way. And the spawning pool is coming up. He's going to have to pull more drones. This is crazy.
Oh, my. This is a gas follow-up. So when you make your barracks this far out on the map, you can't obviously float that back to a wall or something. if it's that far out. So he's doing a 10 gas, 10 factory follow-up to put some pressure on with a Vulture. If Larva can identify that, get a Sunken in time. This is the timing for the Sunken. About 3 minutes 30. Should just about line up perfectly with that Vulture arriving now. And if Light can't identify this third hatchery, oh my stars, could this game be crazy. And I mean, it's going to be a 1-1-1 build as well, so we can get some Wraiths to follow up with that Vulture timing. But with the Sunken being crisp, I mean, I don't know. I feel like Light didn't necessarily blunder, but it was bad enough that Larva is not only in this, but potentially advantaged to win unless Light could figure out this third base.
I mean, he's in such a good position here. I regret ever doubting this man. Absolute enigma. How the hell did he hold that? How did he hold that against Light of all people? There should be amazing target fire just gunning down drones while you're trying to get the surround, but he got a near perfect surround there. Gonna throw down a Hydralisk Den to kind of complete this wall here. Very tough to run by now. Not really going to be a possibility, especially with, you know, if you go around the top side here, try to get into the drone line, he's just going to pull the drones to block you, and you're going to end up losing that Vulture. So he's hoping for, I think, a Wraith, possibly into a drop. You can do a play like that in a situation like this. You go Wraith, add-on drop, and then you've got speed upgrade finished, and try to go for the dive into the main base. But Larva knows this. He should have enough defenses here, and he's still unscouted on this third. So it's just amazing position now.
He's going to make 2 Hydras minimum for the Wraith, and Light's hoping that's all it's going to be. He's going to try and see if he can get a Vulture run by, and that Larva makes a mistake of not making enough Hydra. But if Larva, you know, makes 5 or 6 Hydras quite quickly, like he should, that will shut down what Light is trying to attempt to do here. I mean, he's got the first 2 Hydras. He doesn't need to be greedy. He's got this third base with drones. He certainly should be making a few more Hydras for safety. Oh, is he? Oh, he's not going to scout the third base. If only he knew about that third hatchery and drones mining, Light could maybe turn this game around. But as it stands, Larva looking like he's going to run away with this game number 1.
Yeah, it looks like there should be a drop coming out here soon. Larva, if he's caught in a bad position, could end up losing a lot, but he's making a Sunken in the main too. He's getting so well prepared here. He's even making Hydras at this third base. I just can't imagine this doing a huge amount of damage with Larva this ready, unless he makes a big round of drones right now and just, you know, completely forgoes more Hydralisk production. He's gonna see it now. The reaction a little bit slow here, but with the Sunken colony already prepared, how do you get any damage going? I mean, these mines are nice, but there's Overlords right above this position. He's going to go ahead and dive in with some more Vultures here to the natural, actually. He's going to get a lot of kills, and you can't really come up this ramp. Okay, he gets quite a few, but he loses every Vulture. And, yeah, Larva just still has a great economy. Look at this supply. He's ahead right now in supply overall.
Yeah, it's crazy because these are the right plays from Light. You're supposed to lay down mines, rotate to the natural, and try and kill drones. But the reality is, he's got this third base mining. I don't even think Light has any idea about it. So Light is calculating this game like it's a normal 2-base Zerg, and everything might still be okay, and he can transition. He's going to be kicking himself when he realizes he's had this third base his entire time. He didn't scout the main base to know that it was 3 hatchery before pull. He thought he was just defending with the drones like you normally would at the start, and abandoned the attack, thinking that Larva just did a good job of holding it and did actually have a pull behind. So, yeah, Light in a world of hurt right now. Even a 4th base going to be coming online from Larva. If the Vulture sees that, it's going to even more mind game Light into not knowing what he's up against.
Yeah, I love this play of going around with the Hydras because Light has no idea. He has no idea that this is coming, and if he doesn't eat a big mine, he's gonna just wreck Light right now. He's running past the bunker here. There's a mine there. He's just gonna target fire that down. The bunker's doing quite a bit of damage. He gets the Marine. He's gonna target some SCVs down. This is not the best damage here, and this hold is actually gonna go pretty well. I'm a little bit surprised that Larva didn't combo this with an attack from the other base. Looks like Vulture finally found this base, and so some of the drones have been killed, but still a great position here for Larva.
He can't attack from the other base because obviously there'd be like a trail of mines potentially that he can't do anything about until the Overlord speeds finish. So it makes sense that he was just trying to be a bit, you know, gambity with that force. Luckily, Light just barely hanging on by the skin of his teeth, killing a few drones in transit. And this is not terrible for Light. There is a world where he slowly turns around this game, and he's going to now know about how to punish this other base in the top left eventually. There's no Sonkens up here. You might be able to slip in and kill some of these drones at long last, and he's going to do that now. Could be a big turnaround for Light if he cripples the economy of the Zerg just a little bit. Another 3 drones biting the dust after those other ones at the third. I mean, there is definitely a world where Light claws his way back in here. It's just going to be tough.
We've got a few mutas and a couple pairs of Scourge. This is a vessel hunting force right here, and both the vessels are just sitting over top of the bunker. If he just goes in right now, he could kill both vessels. I think he's gonna do it. He's gonna do it. He's gonna do it.
Yeah.
Both vessels go down. Sick play here from Larva, just getting in there for the double kill. And I mean, that's a bunch of irradiates that he does not have to deal with anymore, and he's got defenses everywhere. He's got 4 bases running already. We're not even at the 10-minute mark. There's going to be a tank attack coming soon, but there could be lurkers out on the map, and he's just not going to know about them until he gets another vessel out.
All I can say is, Ted, the Terran keyboard warriors are going to be having a field day after this game. You mean to tell me Zergs can just go 3 hatchery before pawn, even if the Terran Apraxes, they still win?
It's very possible. Oh, he brought another Scourge to try and get the kill on the dropship there. Wasn't quite able to achieve that. Still, he's managed to kind of control this game. Wait a second. Mine! Oh my gosh. 2 lurkers die for free. Okay, that is a big moment there. He really does need quite a few lurkers to slow down this push. He won't have Defiler in time for this. He needs just mass units.
Yeah.
He's going to have to try and surround and kill this army.
And he's out of position. I mean, most of the army for Larva is at the rally point. Oh my gosh, is Light going to actually come in here and do a lot of damage all of a sudden, saying this could escalate very quickly. Some lurker eggs popping out, 2 ready. But there is a science vessel, so no hold position lurker or something. He has to flank from the south. Here comes that army now. Light trying to thwart that maneuver. Keeps his lane of retreat open as well, so won't be committing too much to that attack in the end, and does avoid losing devastating losses as a result though. +1 just now finishing up for Light, trying to play catch up in this game. Defiler Mound now on the way. Light still has to find some kind of damage. You cannot just allow Larva to sit back, get consumed on 4 gases. He will just scale too well. You have to do something as Light. He's going to have to commit soon.
He's trying to get in here and maybe lay a mine in the wake of these units. Try to catch some more lurkers here. The value on that is just insane. Killing off 2 lurkers with just a pair of mines is just sick value. Drop coming in right now. There's Scourge in the main. Larva going to see that now. Is he going to be able to catch it coming in? Oh, he's not paying attention. Oh, he does have the Scourge, though. He gets it. Only 5 Marines to make it out, and there's still a sunken colony here in the main. He can go behind these buildings, and so Lings will have a hard time clearing that out, but he should be able to clear it eventually.
He needs to attack while doing this. He can't allow Larva to go undeterred. Look at how many lurkers there are. The macro of Larva really heavy right now, but there's no Defiler support just for the time being. It's about to finish. Consume is on the way, but Larva might be destined to at least lose this early 3rd base. That's now the 4th. Can Larva shut down this army for a Light cost efficiently enough to go forth and take a quick game off Light on Dominator? Light, though, killing that base in the top left. Could also rotate round to the natural 3rd. That's why Larva is leaning over with these lurkers now to try and collapse onto that force, not only to defend that 9 o'clock, but also do a cleanup on R5 while this bio is split. And we will soon see Larva running away with this game with Hydra, Defiler, Lurker, if Light is not really on top of his pressure right now. He needs to expand while applying a lot of pressure to the Zerg. Defilers are about to be finished and consuming.
Yeah, I'm surprised that Larva didn't have anything at that 4th base. If he had just a couple of lurkers there, it would have held long enough for him to put the army together and try to at least go for one surround here. Now going to come forward, get some great spines, and he hasn't even casted a Defiler spell yet. He's going to have Consume here in just a second. Larva has to fall back for now. Lurker over at this 4th. No hatchery over there just yet. Lacking a little bit on production right now. Larva, after losing that one hatchery. Light going to try and come up onto this high ground. Where is the Consume? There it is. Consume is done. Darkstorm going to come on this ramp, and he will shove back Light for now. Light has to retreat.
Yeah, he needs to expand, then double expand, get a gas online, and then just while he's doing all of that, he needs to just be leaning on Larva as much as he can, recycling out irradiates, trying to get a healthy count of vessels. You get enough of those vessels in the sky, eventually those irradiates start to become untenable for the Zerg to handle, and you might miss a beat of making a Defiler. You can see Larva's made a lot of Defilers right now to make sure that doesn't happen. He doesn't want to be caught with his pants down, either missing a Defiler in production at one of these bases, or just not having it ready when he needs to stop Light in his tracks. So if Light can just irradiate all these Defilers and start to grind down Larva, there's still a world where Light wins this. The Zerg is only on 3 gases, remember, after losing that base, so Light still has a chance.
Flag should be finishing up here any moment. Defiler will be irradiated and taken down as the Larva pushes forward here. He's trying to take his 4th base. Like, going to continue to put on this pressure. No Nidus over there right now, so it's going to be hard to hold that location. He did manage to slip a Defiler around the left-hand side, though, and so with a Dark Swarm and this many Lurkers, it's not going to be easy to take that fight here. Larva coming up from the other side. Mine connection there, actually, on a bunch of these Lurkers. Gets a kill there. Going after the tanks now. Dark Swarm and target fire onto the tanks. Really well done by Larva, but he has to retreat with that Fire Bat under the Dark Storm. You just cannot stand here with pure Hydra.
Yeah, it's a very modern take to slip in a few Fire Bats. Not necessarily a whole round of Fire Bats, although that is good sometimes, but even just having a couple to fight underneath that Dark Storm is great, especially against this Hydra Defiler side when there might not be a Lurker available. Now, Larva trying to fight back strong, looking for a Plague. Does get it on those vessels. Nicely done by him. Still utilizing that dust cloud over there to the right to put on more pressure as well before that runs out. Light in a little bit of trouble, but he is doing the right things. He's double expanding while applying pressure, getting additional starports online. He could take this to a late game still, but he hasn't done enough damage to Larva to make this an easy game by any stretch of the imagination. Larva will be going into Ultralisk soon and start to take the fight to Light in a big way. He's done a good job of containing the threat for a time now, but that's going to change real soon. Larva will look to explode out onto the map.
Yeah, there should be mech upgrades coming here as well. Getting a couple of extra factories and upgrading those mech, especially a +1 attack, +2 attack is kind of the breaking point where it becomes almost impossible to approach a bunch of tanks, even with Dark Swarm when you have Hydras. Looks like clearing out a lane here. Maybe Larva can hit this base down at bottom right. Light kind of responding to this quickly enough, I think, to hold on to that location. Ling's going to get up there. Maybe they can kill the SCV. Not quite. These Marines are going to be able to hold that. Larva just backing up now, looking for a Plague. When can he get this big Plague that he needs on the full army to really put the hurt onto Light?
Yeah, I mean, he's got a few siege tanks, but he needs a massive count of them. These Plagues are crazy. Chili sauce dousing that Terran, making them even more tasty to gobble up and turn into biomass later. Need to be really careful now, does Light. He's starting to get an SCV transfer over to the 4th base. Getting that 3rd gas online, so important at this point in the game. You can see he's a little bit gas starved. Even with that gas online, he's still not out of the woods. It just gives him a fighting chance in this game. 4 gas Zerg is a very scary beast, especially when Larva is in the driving seat. And I mean, honestly, I feel like Light is in a lot of trouble in this game. He needs to do a lot of damage soon. If he can't catch Larva with his pants down, kill some of these drones, get a drop in the main, kill some tech buildings or anything, he's gonna very slowly but surely get grinded down to a nub.
The first Ultralisk is out, taking the field. +5 armor is nearly complete. He's had that +2 for quite some time, and Larva actually going to come up here, double expand into the top part of the map, take that other main and natural. He can do so with some confidence now that his ultras are out in force. Trying to catch some vessels here in the middle. Some pretty good moves, honestly, by Larva to look for those connections. Yeah. He's just about here with that +5 armor. But the Defiler does get picked off as it tries to cross the map. That's a big moment there for Light. This little Ultralisk attack is not going to have Defiler support, so it's not nearly as scary. And +5's not done yet. I can't believe he's trading in here with no +5 and no Ultralisk speed. It's going to be hard to turn around and run out as well.
Yeah, a bit of a dropship getting shut down in the top left. I hope Light's +3 is not too behind schedule. Obviously, everything in this game is at least a minute behind schedule because of that 8 racks in the early game, slowing down all the tech timings, but I mean, Light needs that +3 to fight against these ultras. If he allows the +5 armor to finish without the +3, he will just get overrun very quickly by Larva. Those irradiated ultralisks acting as cleave damage now. The irradiate providing a lot of splash to help chew through that bioforce in quick succession. +3 carapace just now finished for Larva, and that's a monstrous plague as well. Cheeto dust clouds on top of the middle-only expansion, looking to try and get better trades from Light. He hasn't got quite enough forces to poke in here now. Doesn't want to waste too many of those Ultralisks. Wants to wait for a critical mass. Massive round of Scourge as well being produced to make sure he can reduce that vessel count. He's done a lot of great plagues, but hasn't killed a lot of those science vessels. So still some hope for Light. He's got a pretty sizable fleet of those in the sky now. Definitely keeping a win condition alive for himself, but Larva so far ahead.
Yeah, that's a lot of Scourge coming through the middle as he's found it. He sees all of the vessels. Their placement here in the middle of the army is going to keep them safe for now. But once the Ultras engage, we're going to see the Scourge come through and really try to get those kills, try to finish off what the Plague started. Here he goes, bringing forward the Scourge right now. Pretty good control from Light, but still a few of those vessels go down. Where are all the Ultras right now for Larva? They must be out on the map somewhere. He's got very little here to defend right now. He does have a Defiler, however, and so Dark Swarm is going to allow him to buy some time at the very least.
Yeah, +3 weapons and 3 armor available to Light now, so he's trading reasonably efficiently, though, with that +5 extra armor onto those Ultralisks. Makes them so tanky. He needs, ironically, tanks to counter that. Can he get a high enough threshold to lay siege to Larva? He's forcing a bit of a trade out of Larva now. He's got some mines and a big, healthy count of tanks. Can he turn this game around and flip it on its head right now? There's no lurkers underneath these Dark Swarms to halt the Terran in his tracks. Light can surge forward. Beautiful plague, though, from Larva, trying to shut this down while he can. There's not many forces to fight underneath those Dark Swarms, but more than enough to keep Light at bay for just a few moments, for some rounds of units to squeeze out, even though the supplies look pretty good for Larva. A lot of that is drones, remember, so not a lot of standing army available for the Zerg to engulf this Terran all in one go. He's been whittling down Light little by little, but finally Light has a pretty sizable standing army to bring the fight to Larva in a much different and more impressive way.
Man, mixing in vultures to this force as well is pretty impressive. Like, you're doing so much with bio already with the MMM, right? And you're mixing in tanks as well. Yeah. SK Terran with tanks and vultures. Like, this is just so much to handle at the same time. And Light is definitely being pushed to the absolute limit. Oh, that mine! Oh my gosh, that mine. So sick. That actually did a ton of damage to Light's army here, and he doesn't really have much bio left, man. Another round of lings, a couple more ultras pop out. He's gonna start getting on top of these tanks, and it could get really bad. The counterattack is looking powerful as well. One more Defiler pops out. It's not going to have time to consume, it looks like. Will end up going down, but more tanks coming up, or more Ultras coming up from behind, starting to get on top of these tanks, and the rally point is being broken. Things are starting to fall apart for Light as just more and more forces come online here for Larva. Those extra gases have finally kicked in, and his forces are starting to overwhelm.
Yeah, Light just took too long for this army to make any progress, and just when he was ready to hit the go button again, after that's another monstrous plague. I'm not sure it even matters at this point. Larva's production cycle's too strong, and he does take the first important game in this series to put Light on the back foot. If only Light could find a way of being more aggressive there, maybe he could have crippled the fact that Larva just wasn't on top of his macro cycles. He had a lot of economy, but not that much Larva to operate with, pun intended. And if he can find a bit of a hole in the production of the Zerg and force him to start trickling in units, desperately trying to defend, that's how you can win a situation like that. But he gave a little bit too much breathing room to Larva. That counterattack at the mineral only, distracting Light just enough that he took his foot off the gas pedal and allowed Larva to churn out the much needed units to crush him.
That was looking like a very scary push, and what, 5 to 7 tanks plus about 12 vessels in the air and all that bio. Larva couldn't quite take it on directly. He couldn't quite bash through that army, but he could keep throwing down Dark Swarms, hold on, just keep himself alive while going for a desperate counterattack, buying that time. He managed to make it work. That gamble of going 3 hatch before gas, I cannot believe that became a win versus the 8 racks in the middle of the map from Light. This is the best, one of the best Terran players in the entire world, and he wasn't able to pull that off.
Yeah, kind of crazy when you think about it. I mean, Larva's pretty good, but Light needs to dig deeper and really start to perform. Yes, he's good at decision making, but he's falling a little bit by the wayside in terms of his unit control in these early game phases. Needs to just keep his head in the game. Looks a little bit tilted from that. If he can just put it out of his mind, he can still turn his series around. We'll find out though. I mean, Larva looking really strong and maybe going all the way here. Let's see though, ASL Season 20 Group D Finals match, game number 2 between Larva and Light. And the map, it's going to be Metropolis.
Larva spawning in that top right. Light here in the top left. As we're getting into this game, guys, just want to mention and shout out the Patreon supporters who have been giving to the Saiyan Shun Patreon. We really appreciate you guys, and we hope that more of you are going to be joining us over there soon, helping us to continue bringing you guys these ASL casts and many other casts as well, including the KCM. If you guys haven't checked that out, if you're just a fan of the ASL and you haven't watched the KCM yet, definitely go watch that. It's over on Saiyan KCM on YouTube. Go and check that out now. It's a fantastic series. It's a bit different than the ASL, but it is a lot of fun.
Oh, it's a lot of fun, that race format. Definitely our bread and butter and how we came to be a caster duo a few years back. I wouldn't have had it any other way, saying it's been an absolute pleasure casting alongside you and now being here in the ASL, a real treat. I hope you guys are enjoying it as much as we are. And yeah, if you can, lend a little bit of a helping hand on that Patreon page, throw us a few bones. It's greatly appreciated, guys. Our PayPal links are on there as well, of course, and a spoiler-free schedule if you do just want to sign up for free and keep up to date with what's going on, especially in terms of when the ASL games will be played and will be live. And yeah, I mean, it's been an absolute blast, and I hope to be here alongside Saiyan for many years to come.
All right, Larva here in the top right-hand corner is not going for another 3 hatch before gas. He's going to be throwing down his spawning pool now here at 11 and a 10 gas. This is potentially a 2.5 hatchery play from him. Glad that we might be seeing a little bit more of a normal game here. That last one was maybe too much excitement, Shun. That was too crazy from start to finish.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's a 2.5 hatch. Usually you're trying to optimize making the gas a tiny bit later with more drones if you want to go for that. But I mean, the modern era, you can pretty much do whatever you want. So he could still decide to throw down that macro hatchery. Larva's a bit of a macro guy, so wouldn't be too surprised by that either. But yeah, I mean, the modern era of Zerg has really evolved a lot. Like, there used to be very strict ways of playing, and while that's still kind of true, there's a little bit more flexibility, especially with people figuring out mineral optimizations. Even you guys on the ladder, I'm sure, are way better at optimizing your minerals than you used to be many years back. We were terrible at the game, and these pros showed us the way. A little bit of pressure though from Light with this one naked Marine and SCV to force a little bit of lost mining time. If he kills one single drone, it's huge. Can he get it? Not quite so far. Just barely gets us to the safety of the ramp.
Wow.
It's a big missed opportunity there for Light.
Wow, I'm shocked that he managed to keep that alive. Can he get the hits on that? 2 more hits from the fusion cutter. Can't quite get it off though, and the drone lives here in the natural. Link's going to push everything back. Very greedy play from Larva there to try and put some damage on that Marine rather than just running away immediately with the drone, but it pays off. And he's going to be able to continue this mining. That pressure, that early pressure that we've all seen a million times, Larva handles it handily here in the early game. Factory already on the way here for Lightshun.
Yeah, I mean, he's obviously doing something extremely teched out. It's also, I mean, technically, he could, if he wanted to, do a 2-port Wraith from here. It's not common. Usually when you do a 2-port Wraith against Zerg, you're doing it off one base. But, I mean, everything is possible at the pro level if you do it well and like one of the best Wraith controllers in the game. But I don't think it's going to be 2-port Wraith. I think it's most likely going to be some kind of teched out Valkyrie build here, applying a lot of pressure to Larva. It's not so good against, obviously, the lurker openings, but the reality is a lot of Terrans don't go for that. A lot of Zergs don't go for that these days, so you're pretty much safe to almost blindly go Valkyries in most situations. That's not always been the case. We've seen players lose to Sulky that way in the last ASL season, just assuming that they were safe to go. Was it Sark that just blindly went Valkyrie into mech, and Sulky countered that with like Hydras and stuff on the ground really quickly? And yeah, like, you don't want to always blindly do that, but generally speaking, you're pretty safe to go Valkyrie.
That sounds like something Sock would do. We got a base at the bottom left-hand corner. Larva's just going to throw a base out on the map and see if Light can scout that. He's actually kind of slowed down in terms of his gas mining. I saw that he was only mining maybe 1 or 2 on gas at the natural for a little bit. Trying to optimize for minerals maybe to get an extra hatchery. He actually sent a drone way into the top left-hand corner of his main.
Yes.
I thought maybe he was going to go for an extra macro hatch, but he's holding off on that for now.
No, he was checking for a floating factory from 12 o'clock into his main base. Light is known to do cheeky things like that, so he's just making sure that's not going to be an eventuality here. And certainly it isn't going to be something like that. Looks like the turret timing's pretty clean from Light. You want to prioritize the turrets in the natural or whatever position is facing towards the Zerg, because that's where they're most likely going to hit first. That's why you see these turrets here around the barracks location, a little bit slower behind schedule, but also had those in the main base a bit more prioritized as well, because a quick rotation from the natural to main is also possible. So yeah, Light really on top of everything at the moment, making more and more turrets in the main, knowing that this could be a very aggressive play, looking for a Valkyrie snipe with that pair of Scourge, but unable to get it so far.
Yeah, he's looking for that. There it pops out, but turrets are well placed enough that he can't approach, and so will be driven away. Checking the bottom right now, Light just still doesn't know where this hatchery is. He's looking for it with these this pair of vultures. If he finds the base in bottom left, he's gonna get a bunch of drone kills. Larva now chasing these down. Can he actually get over here in time to block this? Because these vultures are extremely fast.
Yeah, I mean, he can as long as he doesn't make them stop. Like, he had them pause for just a second there. Now he's going to get in, but the reality is drones regenerate HP really quick, so, you know, you get 3 hits to kill them, and he makes one of them into a creep. He's going to cancel that, obviously, once the vulture's dealt with. Nice way. He's going to make a gas as well with the other one, so he doesn't lose any drones now in the bottom left. He could keep that creep colony and make it into a sunken to defend against any kind of run-bys in the future as well. Might have been better to cancel it as long as he's got map control, but he's probably fearful of another vulture slipping down there and causing absolute havoc while his mutas are on the other side of the map, and I can totally understand that.
Queen's Nest is already done here, so quick transition from Larva. He made bare minimum number of mutas to try and go for the snipe on the original vulture, and went immediately into Hydralisk Den and Queen's Nest. So this is exactly how you want to play against a Valkyrie opener like this. He's shut down the speed vultures as well without taking any damage. Larva is next level, man. I mean,
yeah.
When he quit playing Brood War, he, in air quotes, retired a champion, right? He won the ASL, and then he had some wrist issues, so he just stopped playing. He gave up his spot in the ASL, his seed into the round of 16. But he's back. The champ is back, man, and he is looking to be on fire.
Yeah, I mean, Light, he's got a title under his belt as well, a bit more recent than Larva by a couple of seasons. He'll be looking to prove himself here today as well, but Light might not have as much hunger for this as Larva does. Who knows? Larva seems like he's in great shape thus far today. Definitely in a commanding position as well. His builds and everything look so crisp, so clean. And he's doing a good job of outmaneuvering Light here. And with this Lurker being really on time, Light will struggle to find damage with this Valkyrie at the 9-minute mark. He's going to ward away these Mutalisks now. But he already has Lurkers set up at both the natural and the third down in the bottom left. So this is going to be tough for Light, because Larva definitely going to be pretty successful in his transition. He has got a tank on the way to find a timing before Defilers, but definitely the first phase of Light's game not quite going his way.
Yeah, Light's looking for damage right now, but like, where's the opening? Where's the hole in the defense?
Oh.
He's absolutely everywhere, and he's gonna have. Oh, wait, where's the Nidus? Actually, where's the Nidus right now? That's
he has no
missing.
Nidus. I was about to say he should pressure the bottom left, because one, there's no Nidus, but two, these siege tanks will make short work of those Lurkers on the high ground. But the problem is the counterattack from Larva. I'm not sure if Light is set up to defending it. As the bunkers and depots blocking this is pretty nice, but with the Lurkers coming in, he's going to start ripping through these Terran SCV lines. There is a single tank in the back that's doing a lot of heavy lifting for the time being, but that's going to be taken out soon as well. It's forcing a turnaround from Light critically, and that's all Larva cares about. This doesn't necessarily have to do damage. This just has to draw the attention away from his own defenses in that bottom left. Light could have crippled that base down there without a Nidus being set up, and yeah, I mean, now this buys a lot of precious time for Larva to get that Defiler Mound on the way.
Wow, yeah, and you can see him just heading back to macro there. He could have maybe targeted down a couple more SCVs with those Lurkers, but he's just intent on making sure that he has enough back at home. He actually goes for a hold position Lurker play. That's not going to work, though, against Light, who's already prepared. What is this? How many mutas are actually in this stack? Is that one muta?
That's like
definitely
two,
more than one, but very few mutas here for that counterattack. Just putting some pressure onto Light and make it harder for him to pay attention while he's trying to break this. And look, it's going to pay off. He's getting some kills here from the high ground.
Yeah, I mean, all he has to do is force sieges out of Light. He wants to get in range of the gas at least. Like, he can't necessarily kill this base, but killing the gas is still a pretty big win for Terran. It's not game-ending, but it certainly gives him something to play with here. So this is another tactical thing you can do on this map with the gas geyser configuration. He can assault that from the low ground and take 300 gas a minute away from Larva. That'll put a little bit of a thorn inside, but as long as he can still do some heavy lifting with Lurker Ling, he's not going to be worried too much. He's already getting a Defiler to the natural expansion of Light right now. This could be crazy. Light Bit of a blunder right now, not doing anything to shut down Defiler circulation towards his natural expansion. Here comes the Cheeto dust cloud all over the controller of Light, making it hard for him to play optimally. He's leaning in his chair. He knows he's in so much trouble now.
Oh my goodness, he just was not ready for this attack, and it's just been non-stop counters from Larva. He gets on top of the tanks. GG, it's called. Larva's gonna make it through. The champ is back, baby.
Woo! He can't believe it himself, clutching his fist to his face. The adrenaline must be surging, and that Chad gamer, Daddy Terran, has had his lights knocked out. And Larva, he's looking emotional, taking his glasses there, wiping his eyes. Probably can't believe it that he's able to come back and perform this good in a scene this tough. Definitely a proud moment for him. He's definitely got that fighting spirit still, and he looks like he's wearing his heart on his sleeve, and is just enjoying the raw emotion of the moment as he breaks through to the round of 8 to join 2 other great Zergs in Soma and Effort.
Wow, so we've got 3 Zerg players in the round of 8 and only 1 Terran, and it's Barracks. Who would have thought that? Going into this season of the ASL, only 1 Terran would be making it through to the round of 8. What a shock. 4 Protoss as well, Xun. This is a huge upset. I was thinking that it was going to be 1 Zerg player, but 1 Terran totally upset the expectations here. Larva making it through and looking so fantastic as well.
I mean, this is going to be crazy. And here's the weird thing. There's 4 Protoss players. They're all great players, but there is enough great Zergs to still take this to being a Zerg-dominated tournament. But there are great Protoss players to finally get a championship. So I'm going to be holding out hope that, you know, Best, Bisu, one of these other guys, Snow, can still do it, can still put them, a mini as well, put themselves on the map by getting a championship at long last, another star on the chest. But they're such good Zergs. I mean, Larva looks phenomenal. I wouldn't have pegged Larva as being a strong contender for taking the whole thing down. After today, I think that's possible. I don't think it's likely. I think it's possible. And Soma looks so great as well to boot. I already really highly rate Effort on top of that. So definitely a lot of hope for Zerg still. I mean, Barracks. I wouldn't want to be Barracks, man. Everyone's going to be eyeing him up like a juicy slab of meat.
Yeah, man. This ASL season turned on its head again. First, it was Soulkey getting knocked out. Now Larva is absolutely crushing and getting through Light here to grab that round of 8 seat. I would love to know what Larva is going to say after these games. It's I mean, he must have put in so much work here to get back into shape after coming out of retirement to do this well in his first ASL season back.
I mean, this is crazy. Just think about it. This is not the only guy to do that, right? Effort, Soma, and Larva have come back to the scene and made such a splash, just cannonballing into the pool, taking away the fun of these other gamers that were just cruising, resting on their laurels, trying to enjoy their time in the sun with the shades on, just looking up at the sky while floating on their inflatables, but completely pushed out of the pool now. Lifeguards have been called for those guys as Larva unbelievably breaks out of this group. I mean, don't get me wrong, I knew he had chances of doing so, but I did not expect him to be successful. And hats off to him, man. It's great to have the absolute foot gamer beast joining us in the round of 8. That's going to be insane, guys. That means we've got Barracks as the only Terran, then Effort, Soma, and Larva as the 3 Zergs, and then Bisu, Best, Snow, and Mini as the 4 stronghold of Protoss, looking for that championship title at long last.
I know what Larva's saying. He says, pool's closed, boys. I'm just joking. I Can you imagine if Barracks wins this season of ASL? What a run, man. That would be so incredible. I'm expecting a Protoss champion, either Snow or Best now, after what's just happened in the round of 16. Now that we're done here, guys, we're actually going to be back for the round of 8 next week on Monday. No break in between. So we're going to go
Nice.
right in
Nice.
to that next part of the tournament. Very excited to see what these groups are going to be like. Not sure if we're going to get the group selection right now, but I'm expecting that we'll find out here soon.
Well, it's more of a draw than a selection, but
Right.
yeah, definitely a bit of a different process here going into the round of 8, but not much time necessary to spread that apart. We'll be looking to join you guys again next week and kicking off the action with some more great games. This could be one of the most insane round of 8s in ASL history. We've already had such a blast to cast in the round of 16. It's been a real treat, saying all of these groups have been insane. Some of the games today so off the chain wild, and I wouldn't have it any way. And now that Sulky's gone, everything's been blown open for one of these guys to get a more crisp, smooth run to that championship title. And I would say pretty much just about any of these guys can take it. I'm a little bit worried for Barracks. Is Terran versus Protoss not the strongest, and there's 4 great Protosses to chew through. He could still do it, but my eyes are going to be either on one of these 3 Zergs or definitely a Protoss getting the championship this time around. I don't think Terran can take it anymore.
Yeah, it's basically been sealed at this point. I mean, Barracks has a long shot. He's got, I don't know. I don't want to count him out, of course. There's just so
Right.
many good players right now, man. There's so
Oh,
many
yeah.
strong players. It's basically going to be the round of ZVP or the ASL of ZVP. I hope we see a lot of ZVPs. We don't have too many mirror matchups from this
Right.
draw. But yeah, it's going to be them drawing the players here. The first players to get out go up against second players to get out of their group. And that's kind of how it's going to go here.
Yeah, I mean, it's all going to be RNG, guys, at the end of the day. In terms of the draw selection, they're going to be having to grab hold of their balls and figure out who's playing against who and who's got the biggest EP will come down to whoever gets that star at long last. But I'm just hoping we avoid a mirror finals. I'm okay with some mirrors in the brackets, but let's get like a ZVP finals or something. That would be special, right?
Well, one thing to mention here, Shun, is that you can't face off against the same player you had in your group already. So, like, Bisu can't face off against
Oh,
Best
yeah.
in the round of 8.
That's
And
actually good. That's
Snow
good.
can't face Mini in the round of 8. So we could see, like,
That's great.
Snow versus Best or Snow versus Bisu, and on and on. But, like, there's a much better chance because it was 2 Protoss getting out of 2 separate groups that we're not going to have PvP. We're going to get more non-mirror matchups here in the round of 8.
Yeah, so no matter what happens, we're going to be seeing some great games and hopefully a lot of spectacular Zerg versus Protoss as well. Such a good matchup, saying. Super excited to see more from these guys, especially now that the format will be shifting to a best of 7. We're just now going to one more advisement of today's group in the round of 16. Absolute craziness. I mean, we were pretty sure that the likes of Soma might be getting through. We were just a bit unsure about who would be joining him. We thought I thought Light, Saiyan thought Speed, but we were both wrong. Larva coming back in a big way in fighting condition, looking to take down another star.
It's possible. It is definitely possible. Just watching this performance today, I'm loving his chances now. I still can't fathom that he ended up losing, or he ended up winning that match when he went 3 hatch before pool and it got 8 racks. It's unbelievable. It's outrageous. Absolutely outrageous. Plus he went for a 4 pool versus Speed. I mean, this guy, what can you even say about him? He's a showstopper for sure.
Let's just be honest now. Like, it's a win-win for Terran. Either their Terran player gets through or they just get ammunition and salt to whine about. And you know Terran players love to complain. So they're happy either way, saying.
Yeah, it's really a win-win in that regard. Um, well, I'm just super curious to see who's going to be going up against who here. Praying for as few mirror matchups as possible. I want to see, I don't want to see like Larva versus Soma. Well, I guess we can't see Larva versus Soma, like Soma versus Effort. I guess that
Yeah,
might be a fun match, but still, I want to see more of these players going up against alternative races, other races, and we can
right.
have a really good long best of 7 in some of these upcoming matches in the round of 8.
Yeah, I think they're just talking about that rule now on screen. You can see that Korean writing with the round of 8 draw rule on the left. I imagine it's saying that, yeah, you can't have those two contenders that have played against one another in the round of 16 being drawn against one another in that quarterfinals set of brackets. So we'll be avoiding some of the mirrors. We'll probably have a few along the way, maybe even the finals, but I'm sure we'll have plenty of great PVZs to get us there. And I mean, what better selection of players, say? And I know there'll be a few Terran fans a little bit salty, but don't sleep on Barracks either. He's come a long way. He could surprise us and get through to the semis still, at least.
Yeah, he's definitely capable of winning a major tournament. We've seen him win in the SCSL before. It's a little bit different here, but it seems like he's shaking off the gravitas of the moment, right? He's shaking off
Yeah,
that difficult to accomplish or to get rid of, excuse me, stress of being on stage. He had a
right.
lot of shakes in the previous season in the round of 16. This time he came with a plan, and he executed perfectly, and he took out the champion, no less. That is something special. So really, Barracks, he should be on your short list for players going in deep in this tournament.
Well, I got some chills just watching this process, saying, I love that we're just going to jump right into the draw, guys. You can see the players on the left there. Barracks, Bisu, Snow, Soma, Effort, Best, Mini, and Larva. She's grabbing the balls now. Who's it going to be? Our first player up to bat.
Barracks. All right. She's grabbed a Barracks by the balls. Let's go. He's going to be going up first. That'll be on the 22nd of September, guys.
Yeah, let's grab another ball. I'm sure there's some guys in the chat getting all kinds of squirmy in their chairs right now. Who's it going to be? Oh, it's Snow.
Snow. He'll be playing on the 23rd of September. Oh, no. He's going to be against Barracks. Wait. No. Excuse me.
No.
No, this is week one still. Week one. I got a
Barracks
little
is breathing
confused
a sigh
there.
of relief. He's glad he's not against Snow, trust me.
Can't be against Snow. He can't be against Snow. Soma in week 2. That'll be on the 29th of September, guys.
Bisu. Okay.
Final
But now,
match in the round of 8. That'll be on the 30th of September.
okay, now who do they play against? This is what this other bowl of bulls represents.
There's only 1 in 4 chance that we get a ZVZ here, guys.
Let's see. Ooh. She's teasing us. It's
Effort. Sick. ZVT to start. So we are going to get at least 1 PvP.
Now we got a 1 in 3 chance of that ZVZ. Will we avoid it? Let's find out.
Oh, that was the only chance.
Okay.
Mini versus Snow. It can't be Larva. Larva can't play against Soma here. They were in the same group.
Oh yeah, my bad.
It's gonna be Best versus Soma. Oh wait, excuse me. Wait. Is it all settled now?
Soma. No. There's one more variation, I think. Ooh.
Oh. Oh, what? Oh, so since
Wow.
Mini was in Snow's group, they moved him up,
Yes.
and now
Exactly.
they picked
Exactly.
Effort. So Snow's going to be going up against Effort.
That's gonna be a sick game.
Oh, so there's no
I,
mirrors. No mirrors.
I think. Oh
Yeah.
my
No
gosh.
mirrors. Because Larva can't go against Soma. Absolutely no
Best.
mirrors in the round of 8. I don't know what
Oh my
this
gosh.
I don't know what this process is. I'm completely lost, but I'm so glad that we're getting the perfect result.
It's okay. It's just hard to keep track of who played against who and who we have to avoid. But we're not getting a single mirror, guys. I'm like, this is okay. I actually think Mini's beating Barracks. I think Best will struggle against Soma. I don't know how to call that one, but I think Effort's beating Snow. Just so you know, I think this round of 8's gonna be crazy.
Well, I'm going to take some time, think about it carefully, and I'll be releasing predictions on my channel as I've done for each round so far. It'll be on Saiyan KCM there on YouTube, guys. I'm really going to have a hard time, though. These are some sick matchups.
I, I'm blown away that we managed to avoid every mirror possible there. So, I mean, that's already spectacular. And every single one of those games is going to be epic. We get another shot on screen now of those. Barracks versus Mini on the 22nd, Snow versus Effort the 23rd, and the week after that, Soma versus Best on the 29th, and then finally, but not least, Bisu versus Larva on the 30th. Every single one of those games is going to be a banger.
Absolutely. It's going to be a banger. I'm glad that we have actually Soma and Best on opposite sides of the bracket as well. Those two have been like so close to getting an ASL finals again and again. I'd hate to see them knock each other out early. I'm curious. I mean, we could have a PvP finals between those two. That could
Yeah.
happen. That could
Yeah.
absolutely happen. I'm still hoping it's not a mirror matchup, but those two are super strong. Barracks versus Mini is going to be a blast as well, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Mini is
Well,
such
let me
an
just
interesting character.
Well, Mini's the best Protoss for Barracks to get when you think about it. Mini's
Hmm.
more of a PvZ specialist than PvT. So if Barracks is going to get any Protoss, I think he's happiest about Mini, to be honest with you. I can see a world where Barracks wins.
There's a good chance of that. I mean, Mini, best of 7, it's scary, right? He's going to pull out some
Right.
weirdness, and he's going to get some very interesting ideas thrown out at him. But Barracks, maybe he can handle all that. He's got a lot of experience. He's very solid. Can he win out in a best of 7? We haven't seen him in best of 7 in ASL yet, have we, Shun?
No, no. I mean, and this one's going to be a blast as well. Effort versus Snow. The Alien Zerg versus the Foot Clapper. And I mean, my money's on Effort. Like, I think that's the only game out of all of this that I'm pretty sure about. I'm pretty sure Effort's going to beat Snow in the best of 7. Effort's a monster in ZVP. If he's playing on his A game, Snow might have a little bit of trouble. Snow's come a long way in this matchup, and it has been the one thing holding him back for a long time. It might come back to haunt him yet again. Then next up on that 29th, the week after, Soma versus Best. That's going to be a banger. Best, one of the best comeback kings in the Zerg versus Protoss matchup. You can never count him out, no matter how bad it looks. Soma looks like an absolute tyrant of his own making. It's unfortunate that Jaedong is gone, but Soma might be able to carry the torch. The reality is that we haven't really seen him tested in that versus Protoss matchup enough, so maybe Best can take him.
I'm so curious. I think that Best is just so beastly, even
Yeah.
in this matchup as well. I think it's hard to imagine Soma beating him, but maybe he plays for some really like scrappy early game builds where he's like constantly busting or going for mutilus timings or ogre zerg timings, and dragging him down in these early game plays, kind of like what he did to Light, but in ZVP. Here,
Yeah.
I mean, Larva versus Bisu will be so fun to watch. Bisu, an absolute specialist in the matchup, but Larva has shown some really unique ideas, and for sure,
Right.
he's going to come up with some funky stuff to test against Bisu.
Absolutely. I mean, back in the day, he used to do a lot of Turtle Zerg against Protoss as well. So,
Hmm.
I mean, yeah, this could be a really fun series with a lot of diversity in their styles. Like, we could see such wildly different games along the way. Absolute pandemonium. Both of those guys have got a bag of builds to use. And that's going to be an exciting way of tying a neat bow on this round of 8. I'm glad we got those guys as our final set. Look hype for and look forward to these games, guys. I mean, this is probably one of the best things we could have hoped for. The round of 8 is shaping up to be insanely good with that ball RNG.
Yeah, ball RNG, OP. We had a great draw here today, guys, and we're going to be looking forward to a fantastic round of 8. Remember, it's best of 7s. You can kind of pick your maps, but you can't ban any maps any longer. There's only 7 maps, so you can push them back later into the series, but we're gonna see
Right.
games on Screaming Sea. We're gonna see games on Litmus.
Most likely.
So
No, I
they're
mean,
gonna
you
have to
can't.
come up with strategies. They're gonna have to come up with
Oh,
some
yeah, of
really
course.
unique stuff. I can't wait to
Well,
see what Larva does on Screaming
it,
Sea, man, against Protoss.
it's common that if the set goes 3-3 that they improvise for the game 7. That's very common, but for the most part they have to come up with some kind of game plan on every single map. And we've seen in the last season, they just got their feet wet and put that Death Valley in game number 4, so it happens no matter what. But you could technically win, like, 4-0, 4-1 and avoid the map entirely that you don't want to play. But that's very hard to get. We haven't seen that kind of a whitewash of series for a long time in ASL. In recent times, 4-0s are a thing of the past, and these guys are heavy hitters, and I really feel like most of these series are going to go the distance.
It's very likely we're gonna see some just insane long series, guys. But that's it for today. Thank you guys so much for watching, for sticking around to the end and watching these group selections. We couldn't be happier casting these for you, and watching these groups unfold is just such a pleasure. I am so excited for the round of 8, and we
Yeah.
cannot wait to join you guys there. Coming up next week, guys, starting on Monday, 7 p.m. Korean Standard Time. We'll be here waiting for you and ready to join you in just marveling at the wonderful games that this tournament can provide.
Absolutely. It's going to be special, like that Google Play Points code. Maybe check that out. But guys, I've been Xun. With me, Saiyan SC. An absolute blast to cast. As always, we'll be seeing you Monday for some crazy round of A action. We look forward to seeing you there.
Bye, guys.